Welcome to the Fantasy Football Garage. I'm Chris, the Candyman, and you already know what time it is. Tonight, we're drafting best ball teams. And hey, the little Dalmatian, it's filled, but it's not forgotten. I've got a dozen slow drafts going in this tournament. Didn't want to max it. Didn't want to fill my on the clock, an upcoming draft queue too much. But I wanted to get some volume in. I kind of did something interesting. I joined exactly 12 of these $1 little Dalmatian drafts to see if I could get one of each of the first round picks. And no, I failed. I have 2 Jamar Chase teams, 2 Puka Nacua teams. I don't have a single Gibbs or Bijan. Or no, I think I have 1 Bijan. I have no McCaffrey. I think I have 2 Jonathan Taylors. I don't think I have a Amon-Ra. I think I have 2 CeeDee Lambs. And that kind of rounds it out. 1 Genty. So this is one of my slow drafts. And I'm going to go through a few of my slow drafts making picks. And then we're going to hop right into a Best Ball Mania 7 draft. If you're new to the channel, if you're watching this for the first time, if you're watching this in the future, make sure you're subscribed. We got a goal to hit 2,000 subs before the start of the NFL season. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. So get in here. Come draft with me, hop in the chat, say what up. We got a lot of sharp drafters in this community. Come be a part of it. I'm making a pick in the 4th round here. I've taken Justin Jefferson, Saquon Barkley, and Kyren Williams. With my first 3 picks, it's kind of hoping that one of T, Garrett Wilson, or Neighbors would come back to me. So I'm not going to lie, I'm a little disappointed there. Let's see what we can do, though. Take Josh Allen in the 4th round. Not a bad strategy. The advanced structure on this tournament, it's a 312, 110, 16, 470 final for $20K, $1 entry. I am tempted to go Josh Allen. I really like Josh Jacobs. I don't mind Scatterboot either. Could do T-Mac. Does make sense to me. Since I've already gone Barkley, Kyren, and Justin Jefferson, I want to dive into the playoff matchups for these players. So first, we're going to look at Justin Jefferson. He's playing Detroit, Washington, and the New York Jets during the playoff weeks, 15-17. I've got Saquon playing Seattle, Houston, and San Francisco. Kind of a tough schedule, if you ask me. One of the harder ones. And then I just took Kyren. The Rams played Dallas, Seattle, and Tampa Bay. So not really any clear, obvious choice. It looks like Egbuka had gone at pick 31 to this team. Josh Jacobs, Scatterboot, T-Mac. Let's dive a little bit deeper into their playoff matchups. I know Josh Jacobs is nice. They get Miami in week 15, if I'm not mistaken, but they end up playing Houston in week 17. Could be kind of tough. Also, shout out to the chat. We got Jeff T, a.k.a. Money Ain't a Thing in here. Boom. Good to see you, brother. Also got First Down Fantasy. For $1, I'm taking all of the injured players, all of the goons, all the terrible dudes. Why not, right? Yeah, I'm with you. Let's get risky. At the same time, carry that same mindset into Best Ball Mania, an even larger tournament where higher risk equals like a higher reward. So I'll say that. I'm leaning Josh Jacobs here. Scatterboot's interesting. T-Mac's interesting. Josh Allen's interesting. Let's go to the playoffs. Green Bay. We'll do Packers, Giants, Panthers, Buffalo. Packers. We know they get Miami week 15, nice. Chicago week 16, not bad. Houston week 17, kind of tough. But I do think that Josh Jacobs is the workhorse engine of the offense. Gets all the touches. So it's not a bad spot to be in. For the New York Giants, they get Cleveland. That's a really tough matchup. Detroit's a pretty tough matchup. Dallas is nice in the Dome in Dallas week 17. So that's a little redeeming at the end of it, but I still think the Green Bay schedule is comparable or better, given they play Miami in week 15. The Panthers schedule, I'm going to drop myself down here for this one. The Panthers, they have a pretty tough schedule, actually. They play Cincinnati in week 15, but then they go Pitt in week 16, the second overall ranked defense behind the Rams, number one, and then Seattle ranked 7 defense. This is Mike Clay's rankings. They're not fully updated. They're as of the NFL draft and some moves, but I don't think these are the most recent ones, but they're directionally, accurate, so it's good enough. But just overall, pretty tough matchups for Carolina. Then I could see T-Mac being a nice year 2 play. Last but not least, Buffalo Bills. They get Miami in week 17, so that's pretty redeeming. Denver in week 16 is tough. Chicago week 15 is probably all right. It's a home game in week 15. It's on the road 16 and 17. I think I can justify pushing QB and not taking Josh Allen in the beginning of the 4th round because of where QB prices are this year. It's kind of hard for me to pass up on Josh Jacobs. At the same time, Cam Scadaboo looking real nice. Let's go into the garage tiers. Let's look at some more of the data here around our running back spike weeks. We're going to look at the entire season from our running backs last year, and we're going to hone in on Josh Jacobs, who the way I've sorted this is first and foremost by their touches, the number of games played, and their spike weeks is what we see here. This red column, I'm going to zoom in just a bit more. We've got Josh Jacobs having 20% of his games scoring more than 20 fantasy points in half PPR. 40% of the time, he's scoring 17 or more points. He averaged over last season, over the entire season, 14.6 fantasy points per game. His biggest spike week was at 29.7. He finished RB2 on that week. He averaged 0.81 fantasy points per touch, 270 touches. This is weeks 1 through 17. 14 total touchdowns. And how do the touchdowns matter? Well, he actually scored 38% of his fantasy points from touchdowns alone, which was 87th percentile among running backs. So kind of a lot, maybe due for some touchdown regression, you could argue. Given out of all the top 10, 12 running backs, he had the highest percentage of his fantasy points from touchdowns. That's kind of good and kind of bad. We're going for touchdowns, but we're worried if those touchdowns go away a little bit. So 14. We pop back over here. We see Josh Jacobs had 14 touchdowns and he had 16 the year before. So he's at least consistent with his touchdowns. Cam Scadaboo. I had to scroll down a bit because I did resort this on number of games active, but only playing 8 games, 25% of them, that's 2 out of his 8 games, he scored more than 20 fantasy points. His biggest spike week was 30 points. He finished the RB3 on that week. He averaged 14.5 fantasy points per game in a half PPR compared to what we were getting from Josh Jacobs at 14.6, 0.81 fantasy points per touch from Jacobs. We've got Scadaboo at 0.93, pretty nice, honestly. And similarly, he's about 36% of his fantasy points from touchdowns. He had 7 in those 8 games. Kind of astounding. 84th percentile on a per game basis. It's a close call. You could go Scadaboo here. You could go Josh Jacobs. But again, Scadaboo only got to like 15.6 touches per game. Jacobs is in a whole nother tier. If we look at the back half of the season, did we notice any difference with Jacobs here is the question, because Scadaboo would have been injured, not playing, and Jacobs was up to actually down to 15.9 touches. Kind of equals it out a little bit, makes it a little bit more fair there in that consideration. Second half of the season, this is weeks 9 through 17. Jacobs was actually worse. Still had some spike weeks. Finn, First Down says that Dolphins matchup for the Bills is juicy as hell. I agree. It's tempting to go Josh Allen because of that, but I just like the QB values later. I had a rule in Best Ball Mania last year. Josh Allen in the 4th round was an auto click. The goal is to draft the best players. This is also true. Maybe I'm overthinking it, considering I've got 2 nice running backs. Do I want to grab Josh Allen at a slight fall in the 4th round? You guys convince me. Let's do it. Let's go Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen with Saquon, Kyren, and Justin Jefferson is kind of fun. I'm doing more of an anchor wide receiver approach, but that's the statement we're making when we take Justin Jefferson anyways over guys like Cook or Hampton or Barkley. I ended up getting Barkley, but still. So yeah, I'm there with you. Let's go Josh Allen on this one. Back to my active drafts. We're going to hit up my slow drafts. These are slow, small Dalmatians, and then we're going to draft a best ball mania. All right, similar situation. I have a CeeDee Lamb, Devon Achane, Kyren Williams again. We're in the 4th round. Jacobs is gone. Do we just pull the trigger on Josh Allen is the question. Cam Scatterby is there. Javonte Williams is there. Luther Burden. The thing about this, I will say, when I have CeeDee Lamb, I do anticipate trying to get Dak Prescott, and Dak typically goes pick 80. So that's going to be my 7th round pick. And I don't really want Josh Allen on a team where I'm taking another quarterback in the 7th round. So knowing that I do want CeeDee Lamb stacked up, I think I'm going to stop myself here from going Josh Allen just because of how expensive Dak Prescott's been lately versus when I had the Jefferson team, Kyler Murray is going in the 9th round. Sometimes you can get him in like the 10th. So it's a different draft capital allocation for the QB position that I'm willing to make there. What's up, Charles? How are you doing, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Happy Wednesday. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Hope you guys are having a great weekend celebrating America, the 4th. Family, friends, beer, brats, burgers, best ball, and go USA. U.S. men's national team for the World Cup. Very exciting. Jeff says, this time you have week 17 bring back with HN. I know it's even more tempting, but I think it's even more reason not to do it because of the Lamb and the higher draft capital. So because I just took Josh Allen, I'm going to push it. The question is, do I go Luther Burden, Javonte Williams for a team stack, or Cam Scatterby? Cam Scatterby gives me the week 17 correlation with CeeDee Lamb. So that's kind of a good angle there. Let's dive deep into Javonte Williams and why we would or wouldn't want him over Scatterby. Javonte Williams, over the course of last season, was pretty nice. 13% of his games, so 2 of his 16 games were 20 points or more. But he had a decent floor. Averaged 14.1 fantasy points per game in half PPR. His biggest spike week was only 26.4. Not actually that high. He was RB3 on the week. 0.79 fantasy points per touch, but 287 touches was pretty impressive. The 13 touchdowns, 17.9 touches per game. And he did get up to a lot. 13 touchdowns, 80th percentile for running backs, fantasy points coming from touchdowns. The almost, 1,338 total yards, almost 13.5. But on the second half of the season, weeks 9 to 17, where's Javonte Williams? He's much further down. He had no spike weeks above 17 points or 20 points. 8 games played, 11 fantasy points per game, 0.64. Only had those 4 touchdowns, so it was a lack of touchdowns in the second half of the season. He was 49th percentile in fantasy points from touchdowns scored. So was it schedule related? Was it bad touchdown luck? He was still getting 17.4 touches per game, so actually very impressive. Do we think the touches are more indicative of future success than the touchdown luck? We get a faller on Javonte Williams. He's team stacked with CD. I'm taking Javonte Williams there. If Javonte was gone, I would have taken Cam Scatterby. Let's go Javonte. I think the touches do lead to touchdowns. The second half of last season, he was still getting the work. He didn't split it with anyone. And he still averaged more touches per game than Cam Scatterbo on a better team, better offense. He gets to play the Giants in Week 17. That's kind of a bonus. The Cowboys get the Rams in Week 15, the number 1 defense. They get Jacksonville in Week 16, the 24th ranked defense. And then they get the New York Giants at home in the Dome, Week 17, the 28th overall ranked defense. So that's just arrows pointing up. Let me get a nice little team stack there. Lamb Williams, probably the first time I've done that. This is a little Dalmatian draft. It's a slow draft. We're grinding through my slow draft picks until we make them all, and then I'm jumping right into a Best Ball Mania. So stay tuned, stick around, come draft the Best Ball Mania with me. Make sure you hit like on the stream, vote in the YouTube poll. Gibbs, Bijan, who are you taking at the 101? Then come in the chat and tell me why. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. One and done picks for this week. So, Charles, I will say I haven't done the most research. I haven't listened to the most podcasts. It's Deer Run. It's usually guys who are accurate, don't necessarily have to be long, long off the tee box, but I'm using 2 shares of Chris Goddard, where I haven't used him yet. Hell yeah. I'm also using Ben Griffin this week, the creatine connoisseur, Ben Griffin. And I think, 2 of the top players in the field this week. Maybe tempted to go Michael Thor Bjornsson. We could see a win from him. His first win on the PGA Tour would be pretty fun. Who else do I like this week? Who's on your one and done list, Charles? Interested to hear. Jackson Coyven, new professional on the PGA Tour. Go with the young gun, Blades Brown. Those are pretty risky picks, but kind of fun. So in this little Dalmatian, I went Puka Nacua, Brock Bowers, Travis Etienne Jr. because I like the playoff weeks, I like the targets they can earn. Scottaboo goes, Javonte. All the picks we just kind of covered are gone in the 4th round. Jeff says, haven't looked into it too heavily, but Ryu Hisatsune is worth a shout. Love it. I love it. Big Ryu fan here. Okay, this team is screaming Luther Burden to me. This is screaming Luther Burden. I have the target hogs, Puka Nacua and Brock Bowers. I have a workhorse running back on a team we think is at least good, but has a great playoff schedule. Give me Luther Burden. You guys saw the analysis. I've been talking about it for months for the weighted opportunity. Fantasy points per weighted opportunity. Number 1, Puka Nacua. Number 2, Luther Burden the third. Let's get after it. Okay. Slow drafts. We only got 2 more unless somebody wants to make a pick ahead of me here in this one. It's possible, but let's get back into this one. This draft is in the 4th round. Josh Allen just went. We have a similar setup here. This one started Genty, London, Etienne Jr. at pick 33, so it's a nice little fall there. I would have loved Neighbors. He's gone. I would have loved Garrett Wilson or T-Mac. They're gone. Josh Allen's already gone. It looks like we're going to have the choice on this Genty, London, Etienne Jr. team to go with Javonte Williams. And the question is, do we want Javonte or Josh Jacobs? We already kind of did a deep dive on Josh Jacobs. We looked a little bit into Javonte Williams. Let's compare them head to head and see what we find. Yeah, Jackson Suber is a worthy shout. I like that call. Charles says his one and done are toast. Hey, brother, all of our one and dones are toast. I am so bad at one and done. I don't know why I'm putting myself through this torture year after year. It's my 2nd year doing high stakes one and dones, and I am getting obliterated. I've got 1 team in the top half. I have 2 teams in the bottom 3rd. I have 0 teams in the top 12%, which is the payout. So I don't know what's going on. I guess A lot of the successful strategy around one and dones for the PGA Tour season is setting up your player picks for every tournament before the season even starts. I don't do that. I pick different players every week, kind of based on my vibes and intuition and looking into some of the data analytics and the projections and the sims. And it hasn't really paid off. It's pretty hard to pick winners, if you ask me. Yeah, best player available. I feel that. That New Orleans offense, second year under Moore, is going to the moon, baby. That's what I like to hear. I'm investing in Olave and Etienne Jr. at a pretty high clip. What's up, Hartman? How we doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. The blue Lambo in the chat. If you're a channel member, don't be afraid to throw out some Lambos when you enter the stream. Yellow Lambos, white Lambos, blue Lambos, all good here. I didn't do one and done this year. I'm glad I didn't. Would have got crushed. Yeah, I am donating. I'm paying the rake in my one and dones. It's sad. Well, here's the thing. This just gives you, if you're ever curious about betting on golf, this just tells you why you should never do it. Picking outright winners, even picking a top 5 finish is almost impossible. You're better off picking a guy to make the cut or to top 20. I think what I've seen, if you're really into the data and analytics and you're really sharp and you know ball for PGA bets, your best bet is just picking top 20 or make the cut is what I've seen. Picking winners is essentially a no-win situation. It's impossible. Yeah, I'm not a big sports bettor. I will say that. JT Poston, most random winner ever. Yeah, and a first-time winner, if I'm not mistaken, right? The Postman. Okay, we're going to compare Javonte Williams versus Josh Jacobs and make a decision. First, let's look at the entire body of work, the full season. We've got them back-to-back here, sorted by touches and spike weeks. So over the course of the season, Jacobs played 15 games, Javonte in 16. They were pretty similar. Jacobs has a slight edge in fantasy points per game, about a half point. A slight edge in spike weeks, about 3 points higher. Similar floor in terms of 10-point and 13-point games. Jacobs and Javonte Williams each had, what would that be, 17 or more fantasy point games. Jacobs had that'd be 3 games where he scored 20 or more points, and Javonte Williams only had 2. Jacobs and Williams pretty similar in their fantasy points per touch. Javonte did have a few more touches. They ended up fantasy points wise, Jacobs had 219. Javonte had 225, but he played an extra game. 14 touchdowns to 13 touchdowns. I mean, these guys could not be more similar. These guys are splitting images of each other. Very similar in the total yards per game. Slight edge Javonte, actually. But let's look at the second half of the season and see if the story changed. Javonte moves down here, but Josh Jacobs moves even further down. Didn't have any spike weeks from Javonte. Still had some spikes from Jacobs. Jacobs averaged 11.5. Javonte had 11.1. Jacobs had a spike of 22. Javonte only had 15.5. 0.64 fantasy points per touch versus 0.72. They were both worse off in the second half of the season, weeks 9 through 17. 5 touchdowns for Jacobs, 4 for Javonte. Javonte still averaged about 1.5 more touches per game, which is kind of meaningful, and he has less competition or more competition. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning Javonte. I'm kind of thinking it's so close. Let's use a Mike Clay projection tiebreaker. He's got Javonte Williams for 259 fantasy points in full PPR. He has Josh Jacobs for 273. Josh Jacobs at 13 touchdowns. Javonte at 11. a 9% target share for Javonte, a 9% target share for Jacobs, 67% of the carries, which is what I have him at in my model. But Javonte's at 65%. What it really comes down to is, I guess, about the same rushing yards. It's not that different. The receptions, Jacobs at 36, Javonte at 37, 219. Josh Jacobs at 281. It's kind of the slight difference is just receiving yards and one more touchdown for Josh Jacobs. A few more carries. It's close. The playoff schedule, I will say, Miami, Chicago, Houston, good and then bad. Versus Dallas way up here. They get the Rams bad and then good twice. Am I really going to go Javonte over Josh Jacobs? I think we are. I mean, that's what the market says. I've thought a lot about this. Charles says, did you stick around for my Plus EV Elam team in the Goofy stream? I did, brother. I saw that team. Yeah, I was making some dinner. I had some meatballs tonight. Spaghetti and meatballs. One of my weekly staples. And I was doing some chores. I was in the kitchen. Shout out to Goofy Chicken. I saw that team. What's up, Bayou Bengal? How we doing? We're doing great, brother. Having a good night. We're just talking through some slow draft picks for the Little Dalmatian before we jump right into another Best Ball Mania draft. Hope you're doing good, my friend. Always good to see you. Boop. Disbanded. And anyone else in the chat, is anyone going to the ship chasing meetup a month from today in Austin, Texas, where I currently live, on Lake Travis, where I also currently practically live? I mean, I've got a Lake Travis hat on right now. I grew up on Lake Travis. Those are my stomping grounds. Those are my surfing waters. Those are the wakes that I shred. I mean, I know every mile marker on that lake. I've kayaked it. I've swam it. I've fished it. I've skied it. Kneeboarded it. Inner tubed it. Surfed it. Wakeboarded it. Those are my grounds. That's my part of the country. If you're coming to the ship chasing meetup, let me know in the chat, because I'll be there. It's gonna be a blast. We're going Javonte here. We're going some heavy RB starts, but we like it. High volume touches, anchoring on London, anchoring on CeeDee Lamb, anchoring on Jefferson. My last three teams we've picked. Let's go for this one. It started off with a Justin Jefferson, Omarion Hampton. Now we have the 3-4 turn, but Josh Allen already gone. What we doing here? Okay, well, now we have to compare Kyron to Javonte and Jacobs. If not taking two of these three, we've got T-Mac and Egbuka and Garrett Wilson, who I love. Damn, this is hard. It's hard not to go Garrett Wilson when you have Justin Jefferson for the Week 17 bring back, and because I just believe in Garrett Wilson, the target earning. I think the fact that he goes in the 4th round is a shame. It's a crime. Let me see what I can do. Here. First, we need to look up Garrett Wilson versus T-Mac versus Egbuka. Well, no, we should do Kyron Williams first, because we just did a deep dive into Javonte and Jacobs. Where does Kyron Williams fit into this? So weeks 1 to 17. Kyron is a little bit below these two guys in terms of touches per game. 17.5, but not far off. Similar tier. 13 touchdowns. Very similar. 0.84 fantasy points per touch. Beats those guys. More fantasy points per game. Similar spike week. Higher floors. Pretty consistent ceilings. Pretty on track. So Kyron is very comparable to Josh Jacobs and Javonte for the course of the whole season. But what about the second half? We knew Corum was coming on strong. Corum's looking good if you've seen him work out lately. Well, here's Kyron. Still averaging 17 touches per game, weeks 9 to 17 when Corum was coming on strong. You know what I looked up? Corum had one big spike week last season, and it was the same week where Kyron had a spike week, and they benched Kyron in the second half of the game. And they just let Corum run the ball out. I think it was against Arizona. So the Corum hype is a little bit probably overstated, I would say. It's still Kyron's backfield. I mean, the dude is killing. Look at his spike weeks. 22% of his games, 2 of his 9 games were 20 points or more. Second half of the season, 89% of his games he's hitting your flex. If not, 78%, getting about 13 points. A third of the games he's having 17 or more. Still had 8 touchdowns in 9 games. 15.1 fantasy points per game. Kyron's the man. You draft Kyron Williams in the 3rd round. You're never going to regret it. We're back on the clock. Pick 37. We know we like Javonte ahead of Josh Jacobs most of the time. Probably this time as well. Do we go Garrett Wilson, T-Mac, or Egbuka, though, is kind of the question. You guys have any strong feelings about these 3 receivers? I don't know how I feel exactly yet. I want to look into it a little bit more. I think I like Garrett Wilson the best. I'm curious to see if a year 2 wide receiver like T-Mac or Egbuka could be the play. Hartman thinks Garrett. That's kind of how I lean too. It says new version available. Please refresh to update. I don't know if I trust Underdog on refreshing. Skip, go to next tier, Terry or Evans. That's kind of bold. Old man receivers, 30 and 33. But San Francisco's a nice team. Washington could be good. New OC. Get Jaden Daniels under center more. Let's look up Garrett Wilson, T-Mac, and Egbuka. Let's go deep. First off, playoff weeks. What matters the most? The Jets get Arizona, nice. New England, tough. Minnesota, nice. Pretty good schedule. About a 20 average on those defenses. Carolina gets Cincy, nice. Pittsburgh, tough. Seattle, tough. About a 10 average defense. Pretty tough matchup for T-Mac. And then Egbuka, we go to the Tampa Bay Bucks. They get New Orleans, which is nice. Atlanta, which is nice. But then the Rams in week 17, the top ranked defense, kind of averages it out a little bit more middle of the pack, but not bad. Let's go to the data. Full season for the wide receivers. We're looking at Sir Garrett Wilson, Mr. Teteroy McMillan, and Mr. Emeka Egbuka. Start at the bottom with these two because you already know where this is going. 10 fantasy points per game, spike weeks below 30 points, super low floors for weekly scoring, okay ceilings. Egbuka is actually better than T-Mac. Fantasy points per touch, very similar. Touchdowns, very similar. Total fantasy points, very similar. Across the board, yardage, everything. T-Mac, Egbuka, almost the same. Egbuka had some better spike weeks, a little bit lower floor week to week. Garrett Wilson, these guys are at 2.5. He's only at 2.26, but averaging 5 receptions per game versus they were getting 4. So an entire 1 more reception per game. That's 25% more receptions per game. It's a big deal. 11.6 because they only had 4 touchdowns. So not a lot of fantasy points. Biggest spike week, only 19.4. So he didn't have the same spike weeks as them by as much as 10 points. But he only played 7 games. He was injured. So it's tough. We know what he can do historically. So that's tough. Second half of the season, I want to see big improvements from what the hell? I want to see big improvements. Second half of the season. There's no Wilson, but we can look at Egbuka and T-Mac. And we know that Egbuka got worse as the season went on because of his kind of playing through injury. And T-Mac had some tough matchups. T-Mac, while he got about 2.97 fantasy points per game, he was only getting 3.6 receptions. Still had some nice spike weeks. Egbuka not far behind, but only one touchdown, only one spike week. Hartman has such a hard time being in on Egbuka. Tet seems fine, but his ceiling's a little questionable, especially against the team that he's on, I would agree. What's up, Boo Hames? How we doing, brother? Make sure you guys are subscribed to Hartman's channel. If you're new here, Hartman and I, we've streamed together a bunch. Same thing with Who Hames. Make sure you're subscribed to Who Hames' channel. For some reason, you haven't come across Hartman Fantasy Football or the Who Hames YouTube channel, check them out. Don't miss out. And of course, the Toxic Tower, like and sub, baby. Toxic Tower just hitting 1,000 subs. Incredible. Looking forward to that marathon stream coming up. Good shit, boys. Fun stream tonight, of course, as always with Toxic Tower. Make sure you guys are subbed over there. Check it out. Toxic Tower, what does that even mean? If you don't know, you need to go find out. Great content, great streams, and also fire Discord. My personal favorite Discord that I'm in right now, and I don't have time for shit. I am hardly on Discord these days, but I tune in to the tower to see what's going on. Members only, and I know a bunch of y'all are in there. Okay. I think it's Garrett Wilson. I like the fact that he commands targets. I like that Geno Smith is an upgrade. Coaching changes. Questionable. I like the Week 17 bring back with Justin Jefferson. I am very bullish on Garrett Wilson. I think he honestly should be going in the same group with Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Olave, Neighbors. He's better than McConkey. He might be just as good or better than Nico Collins and A.J. Brown. We haven't seen the best from Garrett Wilson yet. It's going to get better. He's definitely better than Devonta Smith. Given Devonta Smith's on the Eagles, they don't throw the ball that much. Sean Mannion offense, to be determined how much they're going to be passing. Jalen Hurts, not a high volume passer as it is. Pickens, you can make the argument on Dallas. It was pretty fire last year. I think Garrett Wilson on Dallas goes even more ballistic, more of a CeeDee Lamb kind of outcome. How many more slow draft picks do we have before we jump into a Best Ball Mania? Okay, we did it. We made it through the slow drafts. Let's hop in. I'm going to join a Best Ball Mania from my phone right now. I'm going to queue it up on the screen. If you see it on the screen, jump in if you want to draft with me. But I'm joining from my phone right now. 11 more to start. Wow. And usually the stream lags a little bit. So I'm hoping you didn't get into the previous underflow draft. Waiting on 11. Now we're waiting on 10. I mean, this is your chance. If you want to come and draft against me on stream live, perfect opportunity. This one's filling pretty slowly, but I'm sure we'll get there soon. This is a Best Ball Mania 7. $25 to win $2 million top prize. Over 670,000 entrants. The advanced structure is 2 out of 12 advance from this pod, weeks 1 through 14. Week 15, 16, and 17, you got to advance out of new pods of all the previous winners. right? So 1 out of 14 in week 15, 1 out of 12 in week 16. The week 17, which is all that matters, where all the money is a 667 person final. It's a big final. You get last, I'd be pretty upset. You get 3,750. You get 2 million for first. So we're not playing to make the finals. We're not even playing to advance in week 15. We're playing to win in week 17. Don't forget it. It's a big difference there. One eternity later. I'll join this month, done drafting for this week. Hell yeah, brother. No worries. No sweat. We got more to come. I might go live tomorrow night too, but I'm 100% taking off Friday, Saturday. I'm going to my parents' house at the lake, and I'm going to be chilling. Maybe a Sunday night draft. Probably not. Maybe. We'll see. Unless the Frenchie is fire. Yeah, we'll see how the Frenchie is. You know what it is? It's okay. So remember back. Remember where you were 1 year ago. Remember where you were 2 years ago. They always release, Underdog always releases a ton of tournaments during the 4th of July weekend. It's one of the weekends where they push out so many time box contests, whether it's been pit bulls, it's been poodles, it's been Pomeranians. I distinctly remember celebrating 4th of July, being out of town at my family's house, and having all these new tournaments pop up and being like, dang, I wish I could stream right now, but still just firing off on these tournaments. So there's going to be a bunch of time box tournaments in the next 4 days. No doubt. I guess they'll do a Frenchie this week. I don't know for sure. They've been doing a Frenchie every Friday. I have drafted some of them. Some of them I don't like the structure. But I guarantee you this week, we're going to see a whole lot of new formats, a whole lot of new time box tournaments, and I'm excited to get into it. One more for the promo? Hell yeah, brother. This is actually my promo draft. So this one was on the house. This is a free draft for me. Let's go. Playing for milkshakes and handshakes. I'd be in for that. That sounds kind of fun, actually. Depends. Where's a good milkshake? I haven't had a milkshake. I don't know how long, years, but where's my ideal milkshake from? I have to think on it. I don't even remember what I used to like. Like Baskin Robbins milkshake, probably pretty legit. I'm trying to think like fast food wise. That would just be like a Blizzard from Dairy Queen is essentially a milkshake. I'm okay with CD Lamb. Let's go CD Lamb this time. I'm all right with it. We've got Go AZ Cards in the 3 spot, aka Charles. DMH09 in the 4, aka Hartman. We got Bengal Buck in the 7. We've got me in the 10. Blaze in the 11. If I didn't call you out, let me know. Thanks for drafting with me tonight. Happy 4th of July. It's going to be a fun weekend. Hope you guys are doing something fun with friends, family, beer, barbecue. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. CeeDee Lamb, OHIO, Omarion Hampton. Not an Ohio State Buckeye, but just kind of fun to say. Give me a receiver on a good team. Top passing offense. Give me a running back on a top projected offense. That's kind of the thesis there. James Cook would have been nice. Barkley would have been a good pick. I love the Achane pick. Even though his team sucks, people are saying I'm still pretty in on Achane. He's explosive. He can generate a ton of yards on offense. The touchdowns are fine. I'm looking for Hampton to lead the league in touchdowns at this selection. And I same thesis on Chase Brown. If I take Chase Brown here, I want him to have like at least 16 touchdowns. I think Hampton can maybe do it. Chase Brown can maybe do it, honestly. Healthy Burrow, healthy Herbert offensive line, Mike McDaniel offense, all those good things. The Freedom Frenchie. I would love that. Can't go wrong with an Oreo milkshake. Yeah, Oreo is by far... Oreo, Reese's are the two best milkshakes. Ideal milkshake flavor is definitely... For me, it's Reese's and then Oreo and then everyone else. But if you're going to be like basic and be like, oh, it has to be strawberry or chocolate or vanilla or caramel or... something along those lines, like very basic. I do like a good vanilla milkshake, even more than just like chocolate. That's kind of basic, but who else has a good milkshake? Yeah. No, I haven't had a milkshake in years and years and years, but beer from a brewery, hard to beat. If you're chilling with friends, drinking a light beer. Don't give me an IPA. Don't act like you like drinking IPAs. You want a light beer, a lager, drinking it with friends on a hot summer day. At a brewery, fine. You know, best case scenario, by a body of water, a lake, a river, the ocean. Dacta though for 5,000 could be. That's the hype though for sure. The Reese's 101 agreed. Hell yeah, brother. Hartman, next time you and I jump on stream together, we should pregame with some Reese's shakes. We'll be completely like destroyed. I can only imagine. As I've gotten older, my stomach just reacts very badly to certain things. If I eat ice cream that's like, if I eat a lot of ice cream or a milkshake, I will get destroyed. I was at my mom's house, my parents' house last weekend at the lake, chilling. I had Ben & Jerry's Americone Dream ice cream, which is fire. I used to love it when I was younger. I ate 2 scoops of it. I was in pain the rest of the night. And then I woke up the next day and I felt pretty bad. So I'm weak. Five Guys does have good milkshakes. I love a good Five Guys. Does Shake Shack have good milkshakes? I've eaten Shake Shack burgers a decent amount, like recently. I have not had their milkshake though. Josh Jacobs or Garrett Wilson? Let's go Garrett. I am a Garrett truther. I will take... So Evans and Waddle go here. They get kind of brought up to the 3-4 turn, which is interesting. It's a best ball Mania 7 draft. I will take Garrett Wilson over Ladd McConkey. I can see the vision for McConkey. I just haven't seen him earn those targets yet. I already had Hampton, so I'm making the bet that we're getting Hampton rushing touchdowns. 11 spot has to be feeling good about. 2nd round James Cook, 4th round Josh Allen. I would say so. That's a pretty fun start. Cook famously and almost people forget, led the league in rushing last season. Javonte Williams, we know, gets all the touches, is good. Jefferson, the Josh Allen, that's a good start. I like that start. Other than the team in the 1 spot pulled up Smith a little bit the 2nd round, Zay Flowers at the beginning of the 3rd. Love fell to Charles. A Chase Bowers love start is very fun. I have one of those in my little Dalmatian slows right now. I love it. He tacks on Devontae Adams. Pretty sick start there. Josh Jacobs at pick 43, I think, is a good pick. Before this legal situation, Jacobs was going at the 2-3 turn. So anything past that, I think, is a great value. I can make the case for Kyren, Javonte, or Etienne Jr. over him, but he's in the same tier. Hartman's just pissing down the board. He goes Puka, Collins, Rice, McLaurin. Let's see what he does here at the 5-4, pick 52 overall. Fancy. Charles, you're a fancy guy. Roasted banana and brown sugar milkshake from 24 Diner. Oh, that actually does sound pretty good. I wasn't sure where you were going with that. 24 Diner. I remember that place. We used to have one of those. No, actually, I'm wrong. We had a 59 Diner which was like 50s themed. What's 24 Diner? It sounds good though. I like a good diner. My two favorite spots in high school late night was Denny's, free Wi-Fi with the boys, playing our Nintendo DSs, sitting at Denny's, eating the sampler, probably drinking milkshakes, and also Whataburger. But if you're not from Texas, you don't understand the power of Whataburger when you're in high school. It's kind of a social gathering spot. It's like the watering hole for high school kids, especially when it was right across from the high school. Trying to think what I need. The stacks aren't there yet. I can do Odunze. Do I just take DJ Moore, though, for the spikes? I'm going to take Odunze and go for the year 3 breakout. I'm going to let the guy next to me get his DJ Moore stack. I kind of have higher conviction around Odunze in the Bears than maybe DJ Moore. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Second half of last season, Odunze was not great, we should say. Only had 2.6 touches per game in 5 games over the course of the whole season. It was better in the beginning, 3.7 touches. It was better in the beginning. It was better in the whole season view. Tyson, Washington, Price. The other guy I liked is still there. Carnell Tate. Come on down. I don't think I need Burrow or Daniels or May or Williams here. Running backs dried up a little bit. I like Carnell Tate. I think the dude's electric. Sixth round Tate feels pretty good. Dang. Yeah, it's a big stand, Jeff. But it makes sense. Yeah, the 11 spot's pretty happy with that. And then he even gets Jadarian Price, which I think is an okay price. The draft from the 12 spot, not only did he pull up Evans and Waddle, he takes Tyson and Washington there. So he's doing something kind of interesting. Double RB and then 4 receivers that I would say it makes sense with his team build. Hopefully Evans and Waddle can earn a bunch of targets. Tyson is a good rookie that hits, and then Washington, we already know like what that case is. The running backs have dried up a bit. There's kind of a tier break after Judkins and Tootin, at least Price goes, but then it's all QBs. The board is all purple. Wow, the team who took Smith and Flowers gets both Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. That's a gritty-ass team right there, circa 2024, 2025. And DK Metcalf. Drafting the 2 spot has Caleb and Herbert, both completely unstacked. Makes me feel better about getting Dak, though, because unless someone takes naked Dak, I mean, the Javonte drafter is on the inside of me. He has Josh Allen at least, so maybe he won't snipe me. But the Pickens drafter took Caleb and Herbert. I should be able to push Dak around the corner, get him at 87. What can I get here at pick 82? I would like Ramondre. Hell yeah. Ramondre at 82 feels pretty good. 24 Diner in Austin. Been there when I visited Austin. Stayed at Hippie Airbnb and was outstanding. I don't know that one. I was always a fan of the Magnolia Cafe. I also like Kirby Lane Cafe. Are my 2 Austin brunch breakfast spots that are like diner-esque. I don't know 24 Diner. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I need to get back on the scene. Luther Burton fall to the 5th round. Yeah. Yeah, he's been, I mean, that's kind of normal. Luther in the 5th round. Is that crazy? I guess it's a little bit crazy 4th to 5th. Yeah, I guess it is. It is. I was thinking we were going the other direction. I'm thinking the 4th round. Devontae Adams, McLaurin, T-Mac fell a bit. Not too much. It was just Lamar Jackson getting pulled up, Irving and Swift going ahead of him, and then Christian Watson to Charles. But it's not that crazy. Wow. Yes, the team has Ken Walker stacks him up with Mahomes and Worthy, so that saves me. He pulls up Worthy an entire round of ADP. Unless Blaze wants Dak Prescott for no good reason, but he doesn't, which secures me getting the slide on Dak. This team is fire so far. I love this start. Best ball Mania 7 through 8 rounds. I have CeeDee Lamb, Omarion Hampton, Travis Etienne Jr., Garrett Wilson, Odunze, Carnell Tate, Ramondre Stevenson, Dak Prescott. Let's go. Look at my little ADP values here. 6 picks and 6.5 picks on Dak. Maybe let's call it 3.5 picks on Etienne Jr. About 6 picks on Ramondre. Maybe let's call it 3 picks for Carnell Tate. So I'm just kind of drafting what the board gives me, but it's worked out nicely with my stack. Feeling good, feeling balanced. We're due for a tight end coming up soon. Maybe an RB4. Hell yeah. The race to draft 3 QBs the fastest has begun. Yeah, those 2 teams with 2. Let's see how fast they close it. I Get Money has no QBs. Everyone else has 1. Oh no, Charles doesn't have one either. We'll see what Charles does, but he's lining up some nice stacks with like Love or Stafford, Mendoza late. He got sniped on Burrow from the Higgins Bengal Buck drafter. Yeah, there it is. Goff and Laporta goes to the drafter in the 1 spot. The race to get 3 QBs through your first 9 rounds. Yeah, love to see it. I guess at least he has Gibbs. I mean, he's stacking. He's got kind of a strong team, but he's got no one in his flex through 9 rounds, which is going to hurt you. But maybe he can dig out. Maybe this is the way of the future. Solid 90. We'll see. I don't hate it. At least it's stacked up and it looks kind of fun, but it is a lot of draft capital at QB with some reaches. Passed on Luther, took Watson over him. Not a Luther fan. Makes sense. What's up, Jim? How we doing, brother? Good to see you. Jim, are you going live with Neil Orfield tomorrow? I saw that in the queue. That's going to be fire, man. Unless it was today. I don't think it was today and I missed it, but is that tomorrow? Coming up soon? Can't wait for that, brother. See some of your takes with Neil. Be fun. Yeah, the 7-8. We got it. It's official. 1 spot has 1 BBM. We can stop drafting now. I kind of do feel that way, though. Is it weird to feel that way when his draft is bizarre? But I kind of feel that way. Who needs QB overrated? And then we see... Okay, let me make this pick real quick. I think it's Rachaad White over Gainwell. I could do Aaron Jones. Makes a lot of sense. Oh, damn. Last second, I really wanted to go Pitts there. And then I could have pushed it and got either Rachaad White or Aaron Jones. Damn, Pitts goes. The last second, I realized Pitts was there. Unstacked Stafford or unstacked Kyler? Stafford's just way better. Knicks was good. Knicks would have been an option too. Damn. I should push QB. Oh, I wanted Pitt. Now I really want Pitts. Should I take Aaron Jones or Jacoby Myers? I'm kind of tempted to go Aaron Jones. It's going to be Jones. I took Aaron Jones. I was pretty tempted. I could have gone Stafford here. I could have gone Jacoby Myers, a nice little fall. Stafford, a nice little fall. Could have thrown in Kenny Gainwell. I've been a believer. Let me throw in some Aaron Jones, though. Maybe the Vikings actually do get better. Give me a natural mini bring back with Garrett Wilson. I feel good with these receivers. Let me get that 5th running back and just be like icing on the cake, done. I screwed up there on Pitts. I actually didn't want Kyler Murray. I thought about taking naked Stafford. We'll see who comes back around at QB. Yes. 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow on Neil's channel. It's going to be sick. Looking forward to it, Jim. Ball knower. Rashad and Jones over Gainwell. This guy knows ball. I used to not know ball, but I get more information. Trying to get better. I love the Gainwell spike weeks last year, but he's not on the Pittsburgh Steelers anymore. That's Dowdle's job, and Dowdle's not on the Panthers anymore. He's on the Steelers, and he's going to spike. And Gainwell on Tampa Bay, I'm not as excited about. White on the Commanders. Who else is going to touch the ball that much? Probably just White. Projects well. Aaron Jones, always been good, except last year with McCarthy and when he's banged up. But he's always banged up, and he's old. But he's still going to be their top guy. Let's get projectable volume. I'm done with. There's almost no chance I draft another running back unless one falls in my lap that's perfectly correlated and makes sense or stacks team stack wise. The bye weeks are not an issue for me. Hartman grabs Stafford at pick 117 to go with his Corum and his Puka. You love to see it when a plan comes together. I like this running back room from Hartman. Swift, Pollard, Corum, Dobbins. I like Dobbins at pick 100. I've been taking Dobbins over Harvey lately. Maybe it's wrong, but that's kind of where I've been for like the last week or two. Yeah, Charles gets Pittman at pick 99. Pittman is completely undervalued. I think he's a great pick. And then Gainwell at 118, I won't argue with because I think there is kind of a cliff after the White Jones area in the running backs. I'm still kind of mad I messed up the Pitts pick. I should have taken Pitts at 106. When I saw a Phantom go at 105, I kind of assumed Pitts was already gone. At the end of the day, I can still do something. Oh, no, Ferguson just went. Damn. I was going to say I could still do something with Ferguson at least. Give me Diggs. Coker's okay, but I might just do Malik Willis over him. Or Dallas Goedert. I feel like Goddard comes back around. I'm going to go Diggs here. I mean, you guys know me, right? You know I'm drafting Stephon Diggs every single night I go live until he gets selected by a team because Diggs is a great guy.
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
Diggs is the guy.
Diggs. 100%.
I'm a great guy. I'm actually a great guy.
There's actually seems to be a few guys that don't think that.
That don't think that. When we ship Best Ball Mania with a team that has Stephon Diggs on it, oh, damn, Goddard goes. Oh, I get hosed again. When we ship Best Ball Mania with a team that has Stephon Diggs on it, I am going to reach out to his people, and we're going to go on a boat with Stephon Diggs. And we're going to see where it takes us. Because even I don't know. But I'd be excited to find out. Darnold does nothing for me. I'm not pulling up Ward. I could do Willis here. He doesn't project very well. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm double stacking. We're going Omar Cooper Jr. Because we're ball knowers in this house. All right? Garrett Wilson, Omar Cooper Jr., get used to it. It's the next Jamar Chase T. Higgins, and I don't want to hear otherwise. Omar Cooper Jr., go look at anything you want, the tape, the stats. This guy is a dog. Going in the 12th round, no. he should be a 9th round pick. Explain to me why Matthew Golden or Josh Downs or Romeo Dobbs, who actually has some nice spike weeks, but why are any of them going to outperform Omar Cooper Jr. in 2026 or in the future for that matter? But grown-ass man, Omar Cooper Jr., got to take more of them. Every time I forget to draft him, I regret it. Let's get him on the squad. 2 standout rookies in the wide receiver room. We've got Carnell Tate and Omar Cooper. Feeling good. This is a Geno-ass team, but this is the team to do it. Yeah, Kyler Murray, he was gone. 11th spot is cooking. '12th spot had 6 wide receivers and no tight ends. Would have pushed Diggs there. Well, I took Omar Cooper, and I'm still pushing tight end. Tight ends suck, bro. Tight ends don't matter. Where's Thad? What did you say earlier? Who needs a QB? Overrated, says Charles. This is where Thad pops in and goes, hashtag QBs matter. Haven't seen Thad in a minute. Hope he's doing good. I know he takes a break during these off months. Off months. Bro, it's best ball summer. Because look, only Likely went since I took Cooper, and Likely's terrible. The tight ends that come back around at pick 154 are terrible. The fact we miss out on Kincaid and Ferguson and Kittle and Pitts, you just hate to see it. But we'll make up with some volume because I'm done with 5 running backs. I might do a 2 QB build. Feeling pretty good with 6 receivers. Definitely take a 7th, but then this could easily be a 4 tight end team. If I pushed Cam Ward. If Cam Ward comes back around pick 154, I'll pull the trigger. Daniel Jones goes. I like Daniel Jones as well. Naked Sam Darnold is probably fine here. He goes as well. But honestly, to me, it's Cam Ward or bust. I'll take Geno as my next QB and stop with 2. Cam Ward or bust. Make my day, Zach1397. You son of a... Well, I guess I asked for it. Hunter Henry, Brenton Strange, Dewan Johnson. Kenyon Sadiq, dog. We're doing a huge Jets like onslaught. 3 pass catchers here. Kenyon Sadiq, he's better than Hunter Henry. He's better than Brenton Strange, better than Dewan Johnson. I wanted to take Sadiq because I don't want to miss out on him. I could have pushed him to my next pick, but I think with my next pick, I want to take a certain other pass catcher, and then I'm kind of done at receiver too. I have every Jets pass catcher, so I'm feeling really good that I'm not going to get sniped on Geno, but you just never know. Well, searching Geno doesn't help. Let's search the Jets. Adonai Mitchell's the only one left. He's the least efficient receiver to ever play in the NFL. So he will get drafted somewhere here, but then the person who drafts him won't have the chance to double tap Geno unless it's the guy like reaches on him, pulls him up. So I feel like I can get Geno at 178. I'll be okay. Breaks are for the week. Do not bust. Failed. I know. What's up, Creok? Just take Mendoza a little ahead. Real life 101 QB QBAC AZ week 17. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Guys, I'm going to go. Oh, shit. I was going to go Flournoy. I took Hawkinson. I was going to go Flournoy. He literally went the pick before me to the drafting 11 spot. I wanted to stack him up with Dak. Son of a... Man. But then I thought about going Strange. I thought about going Hunter Henry, Juwan Johnson. It didn't fit the thesis. I got to stick to this Week 17 matchup with the Vikings and the Jets at this point. So I go Hawkinson. Plus, to me, Hawkinson's a little bit underrated if Kyler is good. And I think he is in a similar tier to all those other tight ends for me. So like here, Hawkinson actually projects a lot closer to Tucker Kraft in the Mike Clay projections than you would think. Ahead of guys of like Likely or Kincaid. Also after Sadiq, who's got some pretty nice projections. Crazy enough. Hunter Henry, Juwan Johnson, Brennan Stranger, more similar to each other, or even Pat Fryermuth or Dalton Schultz than the Hawkinson Kraft guys, Ferguson guys, I would say. So it's all perspective, but no, I get money with the late Dart and Jordan Love picks. He's lining up the AD Mitchell so he can take Gino in the 15th round. If he snipes me on Gino, I'm going to be so pissed, considering Mendoza just went, and I didn't really want Mendoza. I'm going to have to work some magic if I can't get Gino. If I get sniped on Gino, I have to pull something out of the hat here, considering I have no stacking partners left. It's just a prayer if Gino goes. I could just make something work. Backstack. Oof. Aaron Rodgers. Anytime I see purple, I'm going to be scared. I could make something work with, if I had to, I could make Bryce Young work. I can make Penix work, although I didn't get like Pitts like I wanted. Yeah, I heard Sadiq, was it a core surgery or like a groin or something that Sadiq went through? He had some kind of off-season thing. Shador Sanders, welcome to the squad. Could be. I digs it. Yeah, I appreciate you, Jeff. Every time I see purple, I'm flinching. The Rodgers and the Bryce Young, not going to lie, both set me off. I know someone's going to take Gino. I guarantee you this guy takes Gino here with his AD Mitchell stack, because the froth on AD Mitchell has been incredible lately, and for no good reason. He goes Samson. We're in the clear. We're in the clear. There's no way Zach screws me again. After going Cam Ward, there's no way he screws me again and takes a completely unstacked Geno Smith. You're not that kind of guy. You don't have the balls to do it. I dare you, Zach. 1397. Make my day. Fucking right. Boom. The triple stack Geno Smith. Double bring back with TJ Hawkinson. Aaron Jones. You'd love to see it. I know. And Charles not helping. He's like taking back-to-back QBs. I'm trying to push QB, brother. Sadiq had the hernia thing, I think. That's what I thought too, Jim. Hernia thing. He'll be okay, right? He'll be all right. 2562. I could take my last tight end. I could take another receiver. Wow, Ferg goes. Jeremy Bernard's available. He's kind of a fun click. There's no more Cowboy receivers or Jets receivers I need. Dulcich was kind of interesting, but I don't care that much. So I'm going to let it hit on Jeremy Bernard. Let's go full out rookie wide receiver room with CeeDee Lamb, Wilson, and Odunze holding it up, and then Diggs, the veterans. I have Tate, Omar Cooper, and Jeremy Bernard. Very heavy on the rookie wide receivers. About as heavy as you can get. But I think good values. Decent players. This could be true. It's a vibes thing. I'm definitely taking another tight end and maybe even two more. So Sadiq Hawkinson late, and then let's see what we can get into with these other late tight ends. I feel good with 7 receivers. Almost certainly not taking the third QB on this build, just because I don't have any other good stacks to go after, and maybe take a late Penix in the last round. Maybe it's worth it. Or even Shador. Let's do some research on that real quick. Otherwise, and we'll just see what tight ends are available. I think Dulcich is kind of fun. I'm going to pull something up. I want to look at Shador last season on his game logs. Shador. Shador game logs. Pretty explosive rushing, honestly. I didn't expect to see that. Didn't expect to see that. Fantasy points per game, super weak. Passing touchdowns, super weak. Completion percentage, which it was his best skill in college, terrible in the NFL. I mean, how many attempts are we getting here? Was he 16, 20, 25? He had 42 in week 14. He was QB2 in week 14 against Tennessee. Otherwise, scrub. So he can spike. Anyone can spike, get a rushing touchdown. He had some rushing floor with the yardage. Hit a 3 passing touchdown game, 364 yards against Tennessee. I knew he had one big spike week. So I think Shador is something. Let's compare that to like Penix. I'm going to go unstacked. Let's see what we're getting out of Penix. It's a little better last year. Rookie year, not as good. Not as explosive last year. Injuries, things. Decent in week 1 against Tampa Bay. Almost 300 yards, touchdown, rushing, and passing. Otherwise, pretty scrub, except for... Actually, no, week 4, Washington was good. Week 9, New England was good. New England's a tough defense, so 3 passing touchdowns. No one really did that. So Penix, draftable. We'll throw him in the queue. I think it's going to be Penix and then Shador. If I take Penix, though, can I grab any Falcons? The answer is no. But I'll put Penix in the queue. And then Shador... I don't think there's any Browns left. I can put Shador in the queue. Isaiah Bond, I don't think so. With Judy still there. Boston, Concepcion taking over. Frymuth's available. I would do Frymuth. Stowers, I think I don't take on this team because I already have the rookie tight ends, so many rookie receivers. I could do Gesicki. I could do Parkinson or Evan Ingram. So I'm at least going to go one tight end, and then I actually I'm going to take the QB first because both these teams have 3 tight ends and 2 QBs, and I guarantee you they'd take, even though Frymuth goes. I'm going Penix here, completely unstacked, just having some faith. Just getting an extra QB can help. Not like I had any Browns. Maybe Diggs goes to the Falcons. I've heard nothing about that. I think Diggs is going to be a commander, if anything. So then I go Gesicki or Parkinson or Ingram. I just need a little bit of a Mike Clay tight end projection tiebreaker to convince me. He prefers Gesicki, I think. Gesicki here. Ingram a close second. He doesn't like Parkinson as much. He thinks the touchdowns go away. So Gesicki or Ingram it is. My tight end bye weeks and my 6 and 13. Ingram might be a better fit than Gesicki. Gesicki plays the Ravens, but it is nice to have a piece of Joe Burrow offense. Ingram on the Broncos are a pretty good team. I've at least got Ramondre. I don't know though. Gesicki and Ingram are both there. Playoffs for Denver, and then Cincinnati. It's kind of a wash. I'm just gonna go with Gesicki, I guess. I've been hearing some rumors that Gesicki could be the top, the third option after Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in the passing game. I honestly think he might even have less targets than Chase Brown when it all said and done at the end of the season. But from a passing game standpoint, I think Gesicki can be schemed into some touches, some targets. All right, let's keep tabs on players going in the 17th and 18th round. Yeah, it's true. Late Tua. I need sense talking into me. I was drafting a bunch of late Tua. I passed on him here to go Penix. I'm just mixing it up. I honestly don't know what to believe. And they're both naked here. I do wish I had Kyle Pitts on this team, but then I wouldn't have had Rashad White. Maybe I didn't stop at 5 running backs that early, but I like the ones that I have. Leg Up has been pretty bullish on Penix. I've got the Leg Up ranks. I don't have them loaded in, but I do look at them. And I listen to what Pat says on his pods, his streams. I see what Sack is doing. Sacrilegious friend of the show. We did a stream with him earlier this season. I think think it's already been like a month and a half ago. And he's come around on Penix. I've been hearing him talk about it. It's interesting. Penix has some upside. And Tua has been good. But then Tua was bad last season. But 2 years ago, Tua was like an MVP candidate. 2023 at least. 2024 wasn't bad either. '17th round picks. We have Ferguson going in the 16th round, getting pulled up a little bit. Same thing with Dulcich. Cooper Kupp, Tank Dell, Singleton, Davis, Emmett Johnson, kind of staples of what's been the 17th round. This range. Blues getting pulled up. He's going in the 17th. Lloyd pretty consistently. Braylon Allen's been a slight faller. I think he's a good pick in the 17th round. Fryermuth's been around here. I take Penix. Jordan James goes. I think he goes undrafted a decent amount. I don't really have any faith in him. But the drafter in the 12 spot really wanted a San Francisco running back. He goes Kalon Black in the 18th round. You don't always see him get drafted. Also takes Pat Bryant, who can go undrafted a bunch. Bateman's a good pick. I take him a decent amount. I go Gesicki. Besh goes. I think it's a fine pick. Hill's a good pick. Noel's a fine pick. Thornton's a bad pick. Sorry. Mike Washington, fancy zero. Hurst is a fun pick. He's been going later and later. I think he's still a decent pick. Good rookie upside. Washington's kind of a fun pick. We talk about Njoku. Maybe a zero. Who knows? The Charlie Kolar hype is real. We know Gadsden's not good. I got to stop drafting Gadsden. That's a flaw in me drafting last night. I drafted two of my 4 best ball mania teams last night had Gadsden. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? Only one of those teams was even a good value in like the 160s. The other one was like at ADP. And not even Herbert teams. Troy Franklin, I think, is a decent last round pick. Where's the Keon Coleman guys? Keon Coleman should be getting drafted. I can make a case for Xavier Legette, which sounds crazy, but it's not that crazy. Of the other year 3 breakout wide receivers, I mean, I'll stop there. But drafting Malik Washington over Keon Coleman, that's sacrilegious. That's just bad. Bad process. Penix probably favorite start week 17. I guess he could be. But yeah, I think this is true too. I think Tua could be the point guard that Stefanski favors. We'll see. It's hard to know. Fantasy points team is high on Gadsden for what it's worth. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. But everyone else hates him, so I was starting to feel the hate. The price at least, and just, I don't know. The floor, I guess, is bad. The ceiling was very inconsistent. And a few of them do. A lot of them are fancy zeros, like Jordan James literally had 0 touches last season, but we saw some decent spike week games out of guys like Emmanuel Wilson last season, Justice Hill, Sean Tucker. He goes a little bit early, though. I think he's overrated. Malik Washington, wide receiver 1 narrative will keep him propped up at least until camp, if not longer. Yeah, I mean, they brought in Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell. They drafted 3 rookies. Like, it's a complete toss-up. There's no chance that Malik Washington is the top target earner in that offense. It's 0% chance. I thought there might be a chance until I looked into it. The dude's not good. He's almost as bad as Adonai Mitchell, who I love because I love all my Longhorns. But Adonai Mitchell, not good. Drafting Adonai Mitchell over Keon Coleman is actually the worst thing that everyone's doing in drafts right now. Adonai Mitchell, the least efficient wide receiver, complete goof, drops the ball on the 1-yard line, gets cut from the Colts, the team that drafted him. He goes to the Jets. Oh, the Jets are a great team to be a part of. Hey, I just triple stacked him. They replace him with Sadiq. They replace him with Omar Cooper. Like, Mitchell's not in the plans. I don't care if he looks good in shorts. He always looked good in shorts. He didn't have the mental. He's okay at catching touchdowns. Not even that good at it. Hadn't done it in the NFL that much. Keon Coleman, more draft capital, better offense, better team, better stats year 1 and year 2 in every way. We can look at the data. But right now, and I've been guilty of it a little bit, but I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not drafting Adonai Mitchell. He's the worst pick on the board after Keaton Mitchell. It's funny, they're both Mitchells. And he's a way worse pick than Troy Franklin or Xavier Leggett or Keon Coleman. It's not even close. I think Antonio Williams is a pretty bad pick as well. Round 13 for an unproven rookie. Bruh. He's no Omar Cooper, and you can get Gio Bernard 4 rounds later. You can get Ted Hurst in the last round. What are we doing? Kind of the same philosophy of like why Malik Washington even gets drafted is to take Antonio Williams, because who else is the wide receiver too? I'll tell you who else it's going to be. It's going to be Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk or maybe even Stephon Diggs. When Stephon Diggs lands in Washington, Diggs goes at pick 100, maybe cracks pick 95. Probably should. Antonio Williams goes undrafted. It's best ball mania. You got to see these things coming. Bring back Colt McCoy. I love Colt McCoy. Legend. I don't get the neighbors' fear. I understand the injury concern, but I'm not playing for week 1. I'm not playing for week 4. I'm playing for week 17. Malik Neighbors is legit. He's just as talented as T. Higgins, Olave, Zay Flowers. He's better than Devonta Smith. He's as good as George Pickens week to week. He's as good as Nico Collins, AJ Brown. Neighbors is the guy. He's just injured, but I'm not worried about injuries at the end of the season. I think a lot changes. So I'm pretty in on Neighbors, but I understand the fear. And pretty much everyone is consensus worried about Neighbors, and they keep wondering. I hear everyone talking. Shout out to Nez. He was on JJ Zacharyason's Becoming a Best Ball Bro podcast. I was just listening to it while I was making some dinner. And he gave his take that he's a little bit fearful of the Neighbors injury. And Nez says he doesn't understand why Neighbors is going in the 3rd round. Like, who's drafting him there that's keeping his ADP so high? Well, it's guys like me who I'm not worried about the injury at all. And I think he's a round 2 talent. So we're kind of straddling the fence as drafters, where I want to take Neighbors in round 2. You guys are worried about his injury. You want to take him in round 4. So he's ending up in round 3. I'll take a bunch of Neighbors. Yeah, Keon Coleman's ball knower take. And people who are out on Keon Coleman, maybe they just are too out on the narrative. I get it. DJ Moore comes in, but DJ Moore's not a target hog. Khalil Shakir's role's the same. Keon Coleman can still come in, have some spike games. That's what it's about. There's more. I swear there's more target competition for AD Mitchell this year than last year, and then compared to what Keon Coleman's going up against. No, AD Mitchell can be, and so can Antonio Williams. They can both be really bad picks in round 13 and 14. They're still starting quarterbacks that go. You can get Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith. You can get tight ends that are pretty decent. So there is some cost to taking these bad wide receivers early. There is some cost. You're missing out on the upside rookies, the actual upside rookies. Gio Bernard. Zachariah Branch is kind of fun. Doesn't project well, but he's kind of fun. What's up, Lou? How we doing, brother? Good to see you. Hope you're having a great Wednesday night, my friend. Doombas! Worse than Xavier Leggett. In best ball, I'd still trust AD Mitchell to have spike weeks over Xavier Leggett. You can trust the vibes all you want. The data's not there. Let's look at it. You drafting underdog opens? I wish. I don't think I am this week. The 5K top prize, not enough. Not as enticing for me. I'm still sweating out my big scramble in my Pat Mayo Open. So I already have kind of a sweat for PGA golf right now. And then I'm still doing some high stakes one and dones, which I'm getting screwed over in. So I've got enough going on. I'm probably not going to draft the PGA Opens this week. I'd like to just for fun, but it's not in the cards, I don't think. Are you drafting them, Lou? What have you been seeing in the ADPs? I bet it's a lot of Chris Goddard, a lot of Ben Griffin, I would think. Some of the Jackson Coivins, some Blades Browns. Yeah, you got your scramble, so you're feeling pretty good. Okay, let's jump into some data here. This is called Year 3 Watch. So I put this together to prove a point that Troy Franklin was the next Alec Pierce. But in doing this research, I kind of uncovered something completely unintentional and more interesting. Troy Franklin is not the next Alec Pierce. We'll start there. Yeah, it's Koiven week. Maybe Suber week. So what we've got here, the points per game and the stats we're seeing are just scraped from shout out Player Profiler, but these are also PPR points per game. So I remathed the stats to go half PPR per game. And we're looking at 2 seasons at a time because we're looking at Year 3 breakout. So we've got 2 seasons of data. So Alec Pierce, let's start with him as a baseline. His first 2 seasons, he has the draft capital. We know he's good coming out of Cincinnati. But his first 2 seasons, he had 171 fantasy points, half PPR, in 33 games. That was only 5.2 fantasy points per game, 0.1 touchdowns per game. He had 4 touchdowns in 33 games. He had 56 air yards per game, 15 yards per reception, only 33 receiving yards per game, only 2.2 receptions per game, 4 targets per game. Not good. But then Alec Pierce broke out in Year 3. He had a great Year 4, an uptrend even, right? So now we're drafting Alec Pierce as a top 80 pick, a top 100 pick. Last 2 seasons, Alec Pierce, 9.8 fantasy points per game, 0.4 touchdowns compared to what he had in his first 2 seasons, 0.1. 100 air yards per game, it doubled. 22 yards per reception, went up, 50% year over year for the last, those years. Receiving yards went up, almost doubled. The receptions didn't even double, though. They barely went up. So he's just super efficient. And we know this about him. But only 2.7 receptions per game over the last 2 seasons on 31 games. Hardly, not even 5 targets per game. So I think there is some room for Alec Pierce ceiling to go up a little bit more without Pittman there. But we're setting the table. We've got Alec Pierce through 4 seasons. 2 bad seasons, 2 good seasons. You almost wouldn't have seen it coming unless you're just an Alec Pierce fan like I am, and I've been drafting him for the last 4 years straight. He's the most expensive he's ever been, and I'm going to be a slight fade this year because he's so expensive, but I think there is still opportunity to go up. So if Alec Pierce can ascend from his first 2 seasons with only 5.2 fantasy points per game. But here's the other criteria. Let's look at our Year 3 breakouts. Okay, we've got Troy Franklin. He's got 5.8 fantasy points per game. Technically better than Alec Pierce's first 2 seasons. Alec Pierce was a little bit more consistent in his seasons. Franklin had 1 good, 1 bad. Right? 0.2, but he has 8 touchdowns in 2 seasons. Pierce was at 4. The air yards are better than Pierce per game. The yards per reception are a bit lower. The receiving yards are in line, but a bit lower. The receptions are higher. The targets are in line, also on 33 games. So is Troy Franklin the next Alec Pierce? Honestly, probably not. I think the target competition that Franklin has, he might not have the opportunity to earn more targets and more receptions, which he would need to bump up these numbers. I just don't think he can get to Alec Pierce efficiency. But there is still, a chance that Franklin can pay off and continue to ascend in that offense. It's a good team, right? Keon Coleman, first 2 seasons, 26 games, 6.8 fantasy points per game, 0.3 touchdowns per game. He's got 8 touchdowns in 26 games. The exact same air yards, but better than Alec Pierce's. The exact same yards per reception as Alec Pierce's. The exact same receiving yards, but a little bit better than Alec Pierce's. Exact same receptions, exact same targets, but better than Alec Pierce's because he has more touchdowns. Keon Coleman was better in his first 2 seasons than Alec Pierce. the guy who's currently going as a top 80 pick. Keon Coleman plays for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen. We're not talking Daniel Jones. Keon Coleman is set for success, I think, right? Could happen. Spike weeks. He did nothing in 3 playoff games for the Bills is a red flag. He caught a touchdown, but did nothing in 2 playoff games for the Bills in 2025. He's got competition from DJ Moore, but Skylar Bells is a nothing. He's draftable at price. I think Troy Franklin's draftable at price. I've got red flags, green flags, yellow flags. Xavier Legette. We're talking about Xavier Legette versus Adonai Mitchell was why we got here. Xavier Legette, the 5.5, very in line with Alec Pierce. 0.2, better. Air yards, similar. Yards per reception, lower. Receiving yards, slightly lower. Receptions and targets, very in line. Xavier Legette, he got competition from T-Mac last year. He did nothing in his playoff game. He lost snaps to Coker. I think he's draftable at price. I think Xavier Legette is draftable. Maybe it's 20 rounds. Maybe it's deep stacks with your Bryce Young. But Xavier Legette has a first-round draft capital, and he's similar, not as good, but very similar to Alec Pierce's first 2 seasons. Coker, right below. Coker's better. So there's that. Same draft class. Fewer games, though. Coker, smaller sample size. Coker, huge playoff game against the Rams. 100 yards and a touchdown last year. Let's compare Xavier Legette, who's undrafted, and maybe for good reason, to Adonai Mitchell. The moment we've all been waiting for. We can ignore the Pearsall. I'm going to go ahead and hide the rows. We're going to hide these rows so we can actually do a straight one-to-one comparison. We don't have to look at Pearsall right now. He's not that good. Marvin Harrison's pretty good, actually. Malik Neighbors is the truth. Romudinze is okay, actually not that good. Brian Thomas is actually okay, actually pretty good, but had a big down year, so it's scary. Xavier Worthy's not that good. Lad McConkey's okay. We've seen spikes. Now we're looking at Xavier Legette versus Adonai Mitchell. You guys are drafting Adonai Mitchell in every single best ball draft. Over the last 2 seasons, he's played 33 games. He's only averaged 3.5 fantasy points per game. He's had 2 touchdowns in 2 years in 33 games. That's 0.1 per game. The air yards are pretty good. The yards per reception are pretty good. They're not as good as Alec Pierce rookie year. The receiving yards per game, atrocious. The receptions per game, not even 2. The targets per game, not even 4, which I think is a threshold for being useful. Adonai Mitchell is one of the least efficient, worst players in football at the wide receiver position, and you're drafting him in best ball because he's on the Jets? That's good. They drafted Omar Cooper Jr. They drafted Kenyon Sadiq. That's supposed to be good for Adonai Mitchell. He looks good in shorts right now. During the summer, during the offseason, the dude dropped a touchdown on the 1-yard line. You think he's got his shit together? Think again. Do not draft Adonai Mitchell. It's Omar Cooper Jr. and Kenyon Sadiq that you want. It's also Garrett Wilson. Duh. The dude's worse than Xavier Legette. He's worse than Ryan Flournoy, who's also not good. Ryan Flournoy, not good. For Ryan Flournoy to look okay, you have to completely ignore his rookie season. Why would we do that? Why would we ignore his rookie season? You're just going to go off a 1-year sample size? Even then, he's okay. He's almost as good as Xavier Legette in his best season. Ryan Flournoy also drafted 100%. Expensive, overdrafted. Contingent value? Did he really break out? Jalen McMillan, actually pretty good. Malik Washington, terrible, awful. Still better than Adonai Mitchell, but terrible, awful. Actually, I don't know if I can say that he's better than Adonai Mitchell. He has way less receiving yards and yards per reception. He just actually earns more receptions and has more touchdowns. So I would say Malik Washington's still worse than Adonai Mitchell and still gets drafted. I rest my case. Year 3 breakouts. We're finding the next Alec Pierce. It's Keon Coleman. Malik Neighbors is the truth. Don't draft Adonai Mitchell. Only draft Ryan Flournoy in stacks that makes sense. I almost did it tonight. I'm glad I didn't. I see the data again. Oh, shit. He sucks. Oh, no. Only 2 in the field for John Deere. That's tough. I've got 5 in my big scramble, and I'm not excited about it. Keon, ball knower. The payouts for the PGA scrambles and the top prize only 5K isn't really worth spamming a bunch of entries. I would agree. Just make my rankings and draft a team or 2. That makes sense. No, get a good sweat. I would agree with you there. The putting green, the $5 entry is a little bit more interesting there when it's a bad week, when it's a down week. It's not the US Open anymore. I like the other ones, but I can't get on board with Leggett. No, yeah, I'm not really advocating Leggett. I'm just saying Leggett's actually just as good of a pick as AD Mitchell and as Flournoy and as Malik Washington, but he's going undrafted, and he's as good as those guys, and it makes me actually bearish on those guys. Because it's not like I'm going to draft more Leggett. I just should stop drafting those other guys who are worse than him. It's kind of the point. First round pick taken out by UDFA is not great. Feels like this is more of an AD bear case. Yeah, for sure. Flournoy couldn't even get consistent snaps when CD was out. I would agree with this. Why are we drafting a player that has zero path to being wide receiver 1 or 2? It's never going to be Flournoy over Pickens or Lamb, ever. And not even Flournoy over Ferguson, ever. So I think Flournoy should have remained in the 17th, 18th round, and then he's fine with his snacks. I was almost tempted to take him here over Hawkinson. I'm glad I didn't. I needed to refresh on why Flournoy is a mirage. He's a psyop. He's not real. But AD Mitchell is the biggest fake baller out there. He's great in college. We're not in college anymore. We're in the NFL. Enough said. Let's draft. Let's see what's available right now. Let's make my slow draft pick. Also, I'm gonna hit the refresh. Don't disown me, underdog. Don't location error me. What do you guys want to draft next? I think we could do another Best Ball Mania, but I'm curious what's in the lobby right now. If there's anything good worth drafting, I do have one Pitbull left. I could draft a Pitbull. I was thinking about doing it slow or entering it at the last minute. I've been saving a Pitbull for over 2 months now because I did 9 of them the first week it opened. It's been open for so long, and it's only 80% filled. The Pitbull's taking forever to fill. Kind of crazy. I thought it'd be a time box, but I'm saving my last one because it's no longer like a early June time box. It might have even been May when that thing came out. It's been so long. Do a Mastiff, yeah. So Hartman's gonna come on stream now. I'm sending him a StreamYard link, and he's gonna buy half in for a Mastiff, and we're gonna go live and do it right now. So don't miss out on that one. Puka Nakua, Jeremiah Love. I did pull up Love here. And another team I drafted in this little Dalmatian, I actually have Puka, Bowers, and I got Love in the 3rd. So that's kind of crazy. I wish I would have referenced that and thought more about that before, because I actually took Love here after I already had that team. Or at least I had the option of taking Love in the 3rd, because then I definitely would have gone like Collins. But whatever. Maybe Bowers is not the guy you need. It's a different combination of Puka and Love that you need. I was thinking about going Trey McBride. It is a huge bet on the Cardinals. It's kind of scaring me. BBG, I think he drafted a team with Karain on Best Ball Breakfast where they took, or at least, no, they thought about taking Jeremiah Love with McBride, and BBG was like, why would we do that? It's a big bet on the Cardinals. And then Karain was kind of like, well, you've already kind of made this bet on the Cardinals. You have Jeremiah Love in the 2nd round, so why not take Trey McBride? I'm tempted to do something like this. Olave or Etienne Jr. I think I probably could go Olave. Devonta Smith, I really can't get there over Olave. The passing volumes aren't going to be anything similar for these offenses. Curious what you think. Yo, what's happening, Putt Daddy? Good to see you, brother. How we doing? Downtown, Pound Town. What's up, dog? Yo, how many UD golf teams do you have left? Bro, I just have a big scramble and I think it's in like 18th or 19th place out of 25, so it's not killing it. But we can make some moves. We're 100 points out of 10th place, and that's week to week. That can happen. That can change. So I have got only 5 players in the John Deere this week. Kind of disappointed at that. We'll see what we can do there. And then I have a Pat Mayo open that out of 35 or 36 teams is like in 21st or something even worse than that. So not the most hype. Downtown, how are your golf teams looking, my friend? Do you have any albatross or scrambles left? I'm all out of albatrosses, unfortunately. No worries, Jeff T. Always good to see you, brother. It's the Masters of the Scramble. It kind of is. I wish I had more golfers in it. I'm kind of upset that for some reason my planned scheduling didn't pan out to get me at least 6 or 7 in the John Deere on every team that I drafted. So I'm a little bit surprised how that happened. I'd have to go back and refer to my scheduling projections and to see where I went wrong, but I must have misprojected a player or two, or we had a player or two that's like not contending that we thought was. Goomba says 5th year breakout Tyquan Thornton versus Jahan Dotson ? That's a great one. I think I would lean Tyquan Thornton because I at least know he plays for the Chiefs. What Dotson is on Atlanta? That's kind of funny. Hey, maybe he gets it done there. I love Olave, but the blood clots are so concerning. That's a good point. Devonta Smith is interesting, I guess, and given he's good. The playoff schedule. Let's first look at the Mike Clay rankings because it's fun. He would say we should take Olave or Garrett Wilson or T-Mac or Smith or Devontae Adams. Now let's look at the playoffs. Playoffs for the Eagles are not great. They get Seattle, Houston, and San Francisco. Average defense is 9th ranked overall. That's pretty tough. The Saints is one of the best defensive stretches, though. They get the Bucks, the Cardinals, and the Falcons. Dome game, Florida weather game. So really good stretch for the Saints, which is why I'm tempted to take a lot of Etienne Jr., and I'm cool with Olave. And then the last pick I was considering would have been, no, it's just those guys. I mean, Neighbors is cool too, but maybe not early in the 3rd round. I do have a lot of conviction around Neighbors, but I think I'm just going to go Olave here. Dotson could have his Mooney moment, 1,000-yard breakout season. Yeah, what was Dotson's rookie year? Was it 700 yards or was it not that many? I know he had 7 touchdowns. Yeah, it was not 700. It was 500 yards, 35 receptions, the 7 touchdowns. One of my buddies in our oldest dynasty league, he traded for Dotson at the end of that rookie season. I think he gave up like a 1st-round pick. I still believe in Olave. He gets the matchup against Arizona in week 16. I've got the love connection. It makes sense to me. All right, what are we drafting, guys? My slow drafts are done for the moment. I haven't done any elims yet. I am going to save those for August, September. It feels like it makes sense to me. Also, I am just so Best Ball Mania brained right now. I cannot get my head into the elim structure at this very moment. I'm just not there mentally. Weekly winners, I don't care about. Mastiff, me and Hartman are going to draft one of these very soon. He actually, I looked at my DMs and he said, let's not split it. He's gonna cover the whole cost. So Hartman's going to come on here and cover the cost of $1,000 Mastiff and then still split the prize money with me, which is so generous of him that he would do that. Pitbull, I think I kind of want to save it. Dalmatian, I don't know if I'm even going to draft these. Is this like a plus EV or a minus EV tournament? The 23 seat final seems really nice. It's not the worst advanced structure. I haven't thought that through fully. Maybe we're just doing another BBM. Oh, head-to-head Mastiff. And you're still paying for mine and doing head-to-head? That's so kind of you. The Saints, Bucks, Falcons have a little round robin in the playoffs. Yeah, that's so true. Who was it in? I think it was Mac Nova in the Toxic Tower Discord. He had put together a little Claude Code playoff schedule trifecta thing. I think he shared that around. I think it was Mac Nova. Maybe I'm giving him credit for something he didn't do. But it had a bunch of those, and there was probably 3 or 4 that were really interesting, and then another 3 or 4 that were kind of like meh. But there is some fun combinations. Dalmatian structure is okay because you get money back for advancing, but it's only 150 for making it to week 16, which is 1/8. 1,000 min cash finals is pretty good though. Yeah. So the odds of getting to week 16 in that case are not great though. They're okay. 1/3 and then 1/5. So 1/15th. 1/15th on a $101 entry. You should expect to make about $6 back. Well, no, actually, given what was it in that week, you get 150. No, that's still pretty bad. You'd expect to get $10 back. So it's like you give up 100 to get back 10 is kind of the conversion there, which is, it's worse in most of the tournaments we're playing in. But if you get to the finals, which would be 1,000 payoff, and it's 1/8, so 15, 1 in 15, and then so 15 times 8, so 1 in 120. Actually, that's pretty bad odds. But 1,000 divided by 120. Nah, it's about the same. It's about $8 return on a draft. Just responding to a quick text, and then doing any DK says feeling all right. What's up, brother? How we doing tonight? Thanks for stopping in. So funny story. So sports betting is illegal in Texas where I live. So I don't even have a DK account. I have been so tempted each of the last 3 years to put up a DK account, to get one, use the promos and draft some best ball teams. But I really have just kept my drafting to sleeper, to underdog, to FFPC. So I think it's possible. I have been tempted to get into the DK streets. I think I want to join DK this summer. I said the last thing last summer and I never did it. We'll see. How about you? Are you drafting over on DK? How do you like it over there? I know a lot of the bros in the chat draft over there. Some have mixed feelings about it. I'm gonna respond to this text super quick. It's about a FIFA USA men's team watch party next Monday. Sweet. I was taking my trash out this morning and I met a new neighbor who lives a few doors down. I just moved into my new house 2 weeks ago, and he's pretty chill. I think he's a little bit older. He said he has 3 kids who are all like his youngest kids in college. So he's a bit older than me, but he seems pretty chill. And he was walking by down the street, and I stopped him and said, "What's up?" And he's hosting a U.S. men's national team watch party Monday and invited me and the wifey over. And he seems like a cool guy. He said he's got his media room set up. He's got a media room. That's pretty sick. I don't have a media room. And he's got currently has a pool being put into his backyard. So he doesn't have a pool yet, but it's good to have a friend with a pool. I don't have a pool either, but I'm about to know a guy that does. So I'm pretty hyped about that. Pound Town drafted 25 Albies, 20 little Albies, advanced 120 after Masters. Dang, son, that's tough. But 12-20 little's nice. Kind of the wrong mix you'd want, though. But yeah, I guess little is easier to advance. 12 littles made it to US Open and have one little in the final. Hey, it's all about having a sweat. Good luck, brother. I didn't get any of my Albies through. I can't remember. I don't think I did any little albatross, though. Maybe I should have just done some. So DK is allowed in Texas, but not the sports book, which is kind of like their main product. So I just like don't even have the DK app, or like I've never signed up. Yeah, this is true. This is so true, Hartman. I was doing some napkin math that made zero sense. There's usually some guys like Easy or whoever it is on Twitter that put out like how good each tournament is in terms of like odds to make finals and win and like those things. I'm sure that Almation has some pretty good numbers to it, just based on the size of it being 2,700 and given it's $100 buy-in. There's a lot of cash to go around. I mean, it's $250,000 in prizes with only 2,700 people. That's actually pretty appetizing, I would say. That can probably go a long way. It's probably actually not bad. I'm going to jump into another Best Ball Mania. I do DFS on DK, so it just makes it easier. Yeah, see, like, yeah, exactly. One site. Also, like the 20-round format versus 18. I got you. No, it makes a ton of sense. I listen to other content creators, Best Ball Bros, guys in the fantasy football space who do DraftKings, because I just want to stay sharp and I like hearing their ideas, what's different about the formats and all that. So I do consume some DraftKings content. And then in season, I like, guys who do DFS content, like Neil Orfield I'm a big fan of his. I've drafted with him a bunch on stream. Super chill dude. And so to stay sharp week to week in what's going on, even for setting lineups or whatever, managed leagues, doing weekly drafts. So I like that stuff. But it could be fun to get more into it. Tiz TV. Okay, let's pop it open now. I should probably not show my raw Google Chrome on stream until I pop open over to BB Golf. There we go. First, we're going to look at my big scramble because it's my show. I'm not doing great. I'm in 18th out of 25. I'm right behind Pat Mayo. I only have 5 golfers this week. I have Thor Bjornsson, Goddard, Griot, Kim, Hisatsune. At least I have some sexy names. Thor Bjornsson, Goddard, and Hisatsune. And actually, Tom Kim's kind of nice. I thought McCarty was going to be playing. I think I thought Gerard might play, and even one of these other guys. So, damn. Everyone has at least 4 or 5. Most teams have 6 or 7 or 8. Actually, most teams have 6 or 7. Only a few have 8 in the big scramble. So I'm kind of bummed. There's only 3 weeks left. I need to make up some ground. For me to go from 18th, I need to, if I go plus 100 this week, neutral against the field, I'd be borderline top 10. So let's do that. I said Little Albatross. And we want username Tiz. I gotcha. 2 teams. Let's see. No, because they haven't advanced it yet. Just one team. Just the one team, like you said. I guess they don't have the final leaderboard up yet. And why would they? Because it's still a little bit earlier. Let's go to the draft. Let's check out this team that Tiz has got that carried him through the US Open. Akshay Bhatia, Cam Smith, Chris Goddard, Justin Rose, Brennan Hoygaard, Reed, Cody, Nearguard Pearson, Henley, Clark, Shoffley. Good on you getting some Clark and having that there. That definitely helps, huh? I like the Henley pick. I like the Patrick Reed. Brennan's fun. Rose is sharp. Goddard is sharp. Cam Smith doesn't hurt. Batia is sharp. This is a solid team. It's going to be tough at the Open, but maybe Xander can get it done. Yeah, you're still alive. You're still alive. It feels good. All right, let's jump into a Best Ball Mania. I'm going to join from my phone. If you want to draft with me, I just entered, and it's waiting on 7. So you can jump in. You can snipe me. If you want, you can try. Buyer beware. Come at me, bro. It's 2 out of 12 advance. But if you're drafting with me, you better be prepared to attempt a 1 out of 11. Because I'm taking one of those spots. You can make it out of this pod with me. But at least I'm making it out. The way I've been drafting, we're on fire right now. We're feeling good. Low on water. I think we can make it through, though. Second Best Ball Mania draft of the night. I did 4 last night. Let's get into it. Yeah, you have to keep me updated on how that team's going. Pop back in during the Open. I'll be sweating out my big scramble. Keep me updated. That'd be sick to ship the little albatross. I do a bunch of golf content on the channel. If you caught any of that, that I was doing for the albatross and the scramble and stuff leading up. I've been doing some weekly stuff too, but I'm not going to be doing any weeklies for the John Deere this week. We'll get back into some weekly Underdog Open drafts, potentially for the Scottish Open. It's a pretty fun tournament, a lot of big names, and then certainly for the Open. So stay tuned for that. The last drafts I did was for the U.S. Open. I had Blizzy on the channel, and it was a lot of fun. Who we got in here? I'm in the 1 spot. I don't know if I recognize these names. Let me know if you're in this one with me. I see we got Nez in the 10 spot. What's up, brother? How we doing, Nez? Shout out to Nez going on JJ Zacharyason's Becoming a Best Ball Bro podcast. I was just saying how I was listening to that pod as I was making my own dinner a few hours ago. Pretty sick. It's Jahmyr Gibbs. Hey, fitting the thumbnail, fitting the YouTube poll, throw a vote in the YouTube poll. I'm going to go close that now. Hey, what's up, Nez? Nez, great show with JJ. That's so cool that he brought you on and got some of your takes. I was vibing with it. I was listening to it while I was making some dinner earlier. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, that's sick. You know, JJ, I feel like he's been one of the pods that's just been in my rotation for so long as like a listening, like in my queue of things that I listen to and don't always visually consume, but like consistently listening to JJ. So I saw Nez's name was on the queue for the next JJ pod, and I was like, no way. Sick. I had to throw it on. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the Badge Bros over there, the Badge Bros YouTube channel. Nez has got shows going all the time. Yeah, JJ is the pros pro, isn't he? I got the 1 spot. I got Gibbs. I'm going to close the YouTube poll. Make sure you voted if you Gibbs or Bijan on this one. Only fitting we ended up actually getting a Gibbs 101 draft. So hell yeah. Closing the poll now. It's Gibbs. Everyone voted Gibbs. Let's see. Yeah, 25 votes, not bad, and almost all Gibbs. I'm a little surprised, but I'm not that surprised. But it looks like we're all kind of more on the same page than I thought. Bowers goes in the first round. Don't always see that. And he pulls him up with Nico Collins. So he's just taking 2 players that kind of traditionally go on the left part of the board and bring him over to the right part. It's a next level strat. I don't always do that. It is a best ball mania, and I don't really see Bowers or Collins coming back to the side of the board for any kind of news reasons. So it's probably not the worst idea. It's probably safe to do it. It's interesting. Nice little fall on Cook and Genty with Jefferson at the 15. Nez gets quite a nice start there. Everyone's kind of reaping the benefit. Hampton goes 17, Barkley at 16. The double pull up. Chad is sharper than expected. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nez, we were just reviewing some of our golf teams. I don't know if you have any Albies or scrambles left. I know it's late in the season. We're all kind of, a lot of us had some bad luck. I've only got one big scramble left. No Albies. And then I have like a Pat Mayo Open, which is also in the scramble format, but none of the majors only. It was kind of disappointing. Gibbs. Definitely want to go Rashi Rice. I guess I'll just go Pickens. It's been a while since I've taken Pickens. I do like Rashi Rice and Pickens here. I could pull up Kyron. What do I want to do here? I'm going to pull up Kyron. I think I just want some good running backs on good teams. Even when Corum came on, Kyron was still good. He wasn't really giving up the touches to Corum. Corum was just getting more work because the Rams were blowing everyone out, and they had more running back touches to go around. And I think they're going to be even better. I don't know if Stafford keeps up the insane rate that he was on, the MVP type of year, but I think their offense is going to be just as good, and their defense is going to be even better. So they're going to be running the clock out more. Give me some Kyron. I'll pull him up. I wanted to take Pickens there. I went Rice over Pickens. And then I was thinking about my options, like my 2v2s. If I take Pickens there, I'm looking at like Swift, Travion, Montgomery maybe. But I could still take those guys here with Kyron. But if I miss out on Kyron, I go Pickens. I think the wide receiver options are pretty good at the 4-5 turn anyway. So that's kind of what it came down to there. Allen goes early in the third this draft. Each of the last two drafts I was in, Allen was going in the fourth. Yeah, what's up, Tart? Like the uniqueness? Bro, if you like my uniqueness, look at what the guy in the 12 spot's doing, Zach 4. The Bowers Collins, pulling him to the right side of the board. That's pretty unique stuff. But then everyone after him gets a unique team. I mean, I've seen some Ken Walker, James Cook, and sometimes it's like a James Cook, Ken Walker. But Jefferson Genty's pretty sick. I haven't been able to get a team like that for months since back when Genty was a second-round pick. Hampton, Amon-Ra is pretty cool. I've been drafting, not always Best Ball Mania, but in like different formats. I have been getting some JT and HN, and I really like that start too. And he gets a little fall on Etienne Jr., which is kind of nice. Helps him out there. I'm going to keep tabs on this team in the 12 spot. I think he's cooking. Josh Jacobs is another pick that I probably would have made there too. He gets the natural Week 17 bring back against Nico Collins. Not that that's like a great Week 17 game, but I mean, Jacobs alone is worth the price in the early fourth. The legal stuff, I really don't think it's like real. So, but anyways, it's a Best Ball Mania draft. We're getting into the fourth round. It's the 4th of July weekend. Pretty pumped. I might be streaming tomorrow night too, but I'm definitely taking off Friday and Saturday. I'm going to my parents' house. They live out on the lake, and my sister's coming in. I think she's already there. Actually, this is wild. My sister, who's even older than me, I know she's there. She sent this video in our family group chat. Volume down, but I'll zoom in a little bit. This is my sister water skiing like 6 hours ago. Sundown cruise. That's gonna be me this Friday afternoon. We're going to be out there surfing, chilling, celebrating the 4th. Family, friends, beer, burgers, some fireworks shows. We get the U.S. men's national team Monday. I just got invited to a watch party Monday afternoon. Things are looking good. The weekend plans are looking good. Hope you guys have some fun things cooked up this weekend. Reach out to some of the homies. Reach out to the family. Grill something. All right, we're back on the clock. I have some good options. I don't know. Do I go Loveland? I have been kind of pushing the tight ends. Team stack JMO. Team stack Devontae Adams. Montgomery is there. I like the touch ceiling on Montgomery. I am starting to lean more into that. I don't think the Texans are so bad that he can't be good with 18 touches per game, 17 touches per game, giving about 14, 15 fantasy points per game. Some spike weeks worked in. I want Montgomery. The big question I have here is what to do if it's not Loveland, and I think I do want a receiver here. I think it's just Devontae Adams, and I'm really leaning into the Rams with Kyron and Devontae. I think Devontae still has that touchdown spike upside that I want. I know the floor is low. The age is getting up there. He's on one of the best teams. Let's lean into the Rams. Team stack with the Rams makes a bunch of sense. Devontae's a future Hall of Famer. There is the injury risk. So when I take Devontae here, I'm not really projecting him for 17 games. I'm projecting him to miss a few games, keeping that in mind later and trying to build out a safe floor for my wide receiver group and just get that upside from Devontae where he could be nuclear in just 2 touchdown, 3 touchdown game any given week, or consecutive touchdowns week after week when he's healthy, that red zone threat. So that's kind of my case on Devontae Adams there. I'm afraid that he's getting older and the injury risk it continues to increase, but the team is so good. The coaching is so good. The way they use him, he's a future Hall of Famer. I already had Kyron, so let me just team stack the Rams. Otherwise, I mean, I could have made a similar case for JMO. It's just, I don't know what it is. I think JMO also could be very exciting. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be too surprised if JMO outscores Devontae Adams on a per-game basis or in total. I think they're very similar bets for very different reasons. JMO also on a good team with the Lions. Big spike weeks. JMO outscored Amon-Ra St. Brown weeks 9 through 17 last season. Like, he can get on a heater. That was with Laporta injured, and I think Laporta being in and out mostly affected JMO's target total. But his efficiency kind of went up too, and he's been trending up, over the last 3 years, coming back from that injury out of Alabama, that ACL tear. So I like JMO. I need to take him a little bit more, but I think I'm just preferentially taking Devontae Adams over JMO most of the time. And so that's kind of where I end up. And wanting to get a running back there too, like I mentioned, I could have taken both. Yeah, downtown. So I'm actually wearing the hat right now. I've got my Lake Travis hat on. My parents retired to Lake Travis. They live out on the lake out there. And I pretty much grew up going out to Lake Travis on weekend family trips like my whole life. So I know that lake like the back of my hand. I'll be there with the fam for 4th of July. I'll post it on Twitter. I'm gonna post a clip of me surfing on Twitter behind the boat, celebrating the 4th. I'm trying to think, what was I doing last 4th of July? I was probably there. I was there last 4th of July too. I'm usually there. It's pretty sick. It's a great spot. Love Austin. 4th round Loveland is the earliest head-in pick for me. 1st round Bowers, way too much capital. Yeah, he goes Brian Thomas, Odunze. He's got some year 3 breakouts, so some kind of nice picks here as well out of the 12 spot. I like the way Nez's team is looking. He's very balanced, solid. He's got all of the good year 2 running backs on one team. We're coming back around picks 6 and 7. If I'm targeting Stafford, it's at pick 97. I have to reach up for him a little bit, but I'm going to secure him there. So I don't necessarily think I want a QB here. Jaden Daniels just goes to the team that had Lamar Jackson. He's stacked him with Henry, stacked him with McLaurin. I'm on the clock. I might take Ramondre. Ramondre and another receiver. Joe Burrow's there, but like, what do I do with Joe Burrow? Do I just take Joe Burrow because he's good? What is the guy doing passing on Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase? I think I'm going to take unstacked Joe Burrow. I really don't care. I think Joe Burrow is good enough to pay off because someone could snipe me on Stafford. Now I could push Stafford. There's a chance that Mahomes doesn't come back around. I'm not going to let Burrow fall out of the 7th round like that. And he would have kept falling. The T. Higgins drafters way down here, getting him at 7-6. I got to protect the integrity of the draft. But no, I think Burrow's just worth it in this range. Hopefully I can get one of Mahomes or Stafford with my next pick, and then I might just be a two QB build. The wide receivers were terrible options. I only have 2 wide receivers, but this is like a really stale place for me to go wide out in the 70s. Parker Washington's okay. DK, okay. Alec Pierce is fine. Sutton's fine. I mean, they're not. It would have been reaching for them all. So let me just keep pushing receiver. I'm feeling really good at running back. And then I wasn't going to pull up Tucker Kraft here either. I think there could be some teams. You're not wrong. Copy paste laid. Good to see you, brother. You're not wrong. There's some Bijan Gibbs, Nico Bowers. I have some of those, and it's probably pre-draft or it's like the early best ball manias, but I know I've got some in my mind. I have to look it up. The part that they probably don't have is what comes after that. The Jacobs, who's fallen, now in the 4th round. He's on this side of the board. He would have been a 2nd, 3rd round pick in that time frame. Etienne Jr. on this side of the board. Brian Thomas they might have, and Odunze they might be able to get later. So I understand what you're saying, though. Yeah, it is. It's a crazy strategy. We'll see if it pays off for Zach 4. How his team ends up. Sometimes you have to protect the integrity. Yeah, this is Integrity Farms over here. We've got a lot of integrity in this draft. You can't push Joe Burrow past the 7th round in my rooms. I'll take him naked. I'll backstack him with Gesicki. I'm not afraid. People say there's no Bengals to backstack with. And they're right. But at the same time, I hear the Sidekick's been promoting some naked QB builds. Maybe it won't hurt. I also feel like the replacement value between Joe Burrow and any of these 7th round picks compared to what you get in like the 8th and 9th round QBs versus those skill position picks. Burrow's kind of like a tier up from those QBs, and a lot of these skill position players are kind of flat. Mahomes does go to Nez, but I kind of saw that coming. I'm honestly kind of aiming for Stafford. Dobbins at pick 78. That is new news. He goes way ahead of Harvey in this draft. I'm drafting Dobbins ahead of Harvey, but usually I can get Dobbins at like pick 99 or something. That's pretty interesting. Hartman saying he's got a Puka Henry Bowers in a Best Ball Mania. That's a pretty fun start. Coming back up, I should be able to get... I'm not going to take Corum. That would just be nuts. I can get Stafford. I don't think I'm going to push him. There's no need to push him. I do need a wide receiver 3. And to me, it's Michael Pittman. And I think I take the wide receiver 3 before I take my tight end. Let's cover the starting positions. I like Pittman at 96. I could do Worthy and double down on the Chiefs. That's not really how I want to play it. I could push Stafford and take a tight end there. I think the tight ends that come back around at pick 120, 121 are okay. I mean, it might have been worth it to go Laporta, Harold Fannin, or Pitts and really try to push Stafford, but the Puka team wasn't going to let that fly. He has 0 QBs, and he has 2 picks between my next pick. So I just let me definitely get Stafford there. Stafford, Joe Burrow. Let's review the squad so far. Through my first 9 picks, I've got a 2-4-3-0 build. I went for the running back room. Let's start with the QBs. QB, I got Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford. Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron Williams, David Montgomery, Ramondre Stevenson. Pretty good. Only a little bit of bye week overlap with Kyron and Ramondre. Rashee Rice, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman. Need Pittman to be good in the second half of the season and not bad. He was bad the second half of the season. He was pretty good the first half of the season last year. New team, still a target earner. Let's see if we get lucky at tight end and someone falls to us. And also, where do I want to take my 5th running back? How soon can I get my 4th wide receiver? Though that's kind of what I'm looking at. I don't think there's any other QBs I'm going to be trying to stack up. If Goff fell to like a great value, I could consider it with Gibbs, but I don't really need that on this team. Always hard to get Mahomes in the 1 and 2 spots. Yeah, that is true. I've done it a few times. I've actually got some teams where I have Mahomes at like pick 102, 103 in Best Ball Mania. Crazy stuff. So Mahomes kind of swings. Some rooms just don't like him or they're afraid of the injury. But I think as we get further along in the summer, that fear will go away more and more. Goff goes. Knicks goes pretty late. Nez gets a good value there with his Sutton stack. I think Knicks is very undervalued. I get the injury concerns for sure. The Broncos are good. When Knicks is healthy, he's good. I'm getting real quiet because I'm like, I've got my eye on a tight end that I want, but he's about to go. There's 2 teams between me that don't have a tight end. I think, wow, Kelsey and Kittle go. There's the chance that I get the tight end that I want is slowly increasing, but it's still pretty bad odds. I've got some good picks lined up with my next one. Okay, Jones goes. I had him in the queue. He might have been the 5th running back that I wanted if I was going to take one this early. I probably push running back now, and I don't think too much about it. Damn, son of a... Kyle Pitts goes to the team that has McBride. He couldn't pass up on the ADP value. I thought I had it locked down. It was only McBride and Loveland until I could have had Pitts. I really wanted Pitts at 120. You can't have it all, though. I'm probably going to go Casey Concepcion here. Got to figure out what I want with my second pick. Whether I just go Mark Andrews, Ferguson, or Kincaid. I might take Kincaid. I'm going to go KC there. Where does Mike Clay have Kincaid? I have a feeling it's not that high. Yeah, it's not that high. So I should push tight end. I mean, I could have taken Mark Andrews. Let me get some wide receiver depth. Kind of the way that I built this team out. I end up And maybe I should have just taken Diggs there. I said it last night on the stream too. I've been taking too much Khalil Shakir. He's not really that great. He has a really low ceiling, but he does earn some nice targets. He's on the Bills. They play the Dolphins week 17. That is enough. That alone is enough to convince me that he's draftable. But the ceiling, we didn't see much ceiling last season. It kind of more of a PPR scam. Maybe the touchdowns come around with the targets, which logically they could. So if Shakir can have some nice touchdown regression to the positive, he's a good value there. Solid wide receiver 2 on his team. Missing out on Pitts. I didn't have enough conviction just to pull up another tight end that I wasn't as enthusiastic about. I'm going to go more of a late tight end build again. And then missing out on Jones, I could have pivoted to JCM or Mason. I just wasn't feeling it on this team. Let me go to my NFL playoff weeks. The Rams get Dallas, Seattle, and Tampa Bay. Detroit gets Minnesota, New York Giants, and Chicago. And then Cincinnati Bengals, they get Carolina, Indianapolis Colts, Baltimore Ravens. Who else? I took Rashee Rice, with the Chiefs getting the Patriots, 49ers, and Chargers. I also took, who did I take in the third round? My third round pick. Oh yeah, Kyron. I pulled up Kyron. So it's the Rams again. We already covered them. I think Diggs is a great pick where he goes. I draft a lot of Diggs. He's probably my most drafted wide receiver right now. I swear when he lands on someone like the Commanders, he's going to be going at pick 100, maybe pick 90. Little fall on C-Rod too. He's been falling a bit. Don't hate the value there. I guess there's some concern over like a Jones fracture or some injury with his foot. Not 100% sure what's going on with that. Goddard, I think, is a pretty good pick in this range. Dang. Goddard back at 144 would have been nice. I am going to be playing it late tight end. I might take 4. We'll just see how it pans out because I'm not really liking the tight ends that are coming up next. Oh, Trey Harris. Maybe a star method gone wrong. He goes to pick 139. The same drafter who took Quinton Johnson at 67, Price at 54, Dobbins at 78. This guy's just pulling up players. Even Shaheed a little bit early. Not too bad, though. I'm looking at my queue. There's a few players I like here coming up. Omar Cooper goes. I had him in the queue. I don't think I need Sam Darnold or Cam Ward on this team, and especially not right now, but Daniel Jones is kind of interesting. I take a decent amount of Daniel Jones. I'm tempted to do it because I think he's just one of the best picks on the board. And there's not a lot of other picks I like in this range. So I'll go Daniel Jones. And then tight end. I'm just going to pull him up. I'm going to pull up Kenyon Sadiq. I'm pretty in on Sadiq. He used to go at this price. He could make it back to my next pick. He doesn't always. If I'm going to do late tight end, I'd rather go big or go home with Kenyon Sadiq. The projections are showing. I know Daniel Jones is really high in them. Yeah, he's also ahead of Mayfield, Shuck, Love, Murray, Stroud, Darnold. So kind of justifying why I'm taking Daniel Jones so highly. There's some rushing upside built in. It's 6 rushing touchdowns. It's floating him up there. So we need him healthy because that's a lot of rushing touchdowns. The Chargers prices are moving up daily. Everyone except for Gadsden, right? Gadsden's like the only faller. It seems. But yeah, Trey Harris at 139, Quentin Johnston at 67. All right. That's fair. Get your guy season. It just gets to this spot in the draft. There's so many guys I do and don't like. And I like Daniel Jones. I like Kenyon Sadiq. I will take them here often. There's so many picks in these rounds I don't like. It makes it hard. Coming back up, let's see. It's been a while since I took a running back. I could grab any running back that I like in this range. I'm done at QB. We can start to tack on some more wide receivers. I've already got a rookie with some upside with KC. And then, of course, so at least 2 more tight ends, 1 more running back, and probably 2 more receivers. 3-5-7-3 build. Pretty standard stuff. Could I stop at 6 receivers? Yeah, I definitely could stop at 6. And I don't think I want that 6 running back. So that would just be like a 4th tight end. And we'll see if we get crazy with it. Hawkinson would have been a good pick at 168. I've got a running back in my crosshairs that I think I really want. We'll see if he's there. Otherwise, there's a tight end I'm cool with, but like don't love the pick. On this team, it could be okay. Austin goes. Schultz goes. I'm definitely taking Tajay Spears here. It's just whether or not, and I get a nice little fall on Spears too. It's whether or not I want to go AJ Barner, push for my late stacking tight ends. I kind of want Barner. Barner's pretty good. I'm going to take Barner because he is good. Brian Fleury, the new OC in Seattle, he's coming from San Francisco, the Kyle Shanahan offense, but he was their tight end coordinator. First time OC, he's been part of what makes Kittle successful, you could say, but a lot of play action passing and using the tight end effectively, I would say, is something he's good at. Barner, we saw him roll out play action pass like on a fade route in the end zone in the Super Bowl and catch that pass. I think Barner can be a nice red zone target for the Seahawks. I think he's a fun piece, a good price. Now I don't have to land Terrence Ferguson and Gesicki, but one of them could be a good addition for like backstacking my QBs. I could still throw in like a Justice Hill if I ended up wanting to go with a 6th running back instead of a 7th receiver. 3-6-6-3 build could work. Or honestly, this could be a Samaje Perine team. I never draft him, but I'm open to it. And he does get the pairing with Joe Burrow. Has a lot of contingent value, a really good offense to be a part of, a veteran player. That could be a move. Have you guys drafted any Samaje Perine in your drafts? I see him go every once in a while. I know someone in the chat, we talked about it before, someone's pretty in on him as a late flyer. Yoshivas. I think I've taken some Yoshivas in other formats. I don't know if I have any Yoshivas in BBM yet. I tend to lean a little more towards Gesicki there because I feel like Yoshivas, you're asking him to get on the field with some contingent value that maybe Chase or T. Higgins are out, but Gesicki could see the field in different formations as like the tight end. And then how often are the Bengals running 3 wide receivers? Maybe they do run it a decent amount, and that gets to be Yoshivas some. But even if it's not going to be 100% Yoshivas in the 3 wide set. So there's somebody else rotating in, and they also kind of use Gesicki as like that big slot, receiver type of option. And I think they might also run some more 2 tight end sets with guys like Eric All, maybe even on the offense, getting some more snaps. So I just don't know. With Yoshivas, I need more coach speak. I need more indication that he's going to have a meaningful role in the offense. It's a little early to know for sure. I think he's draftable, though. I don't think Yoshivas is so bad. Yeah, 20 rounds for Samaje Perine. That's not a glowing review. Ferguson goes to pick before me. You hate to see it. I could take some Jeremy Bernard. I think could be a good pick. I'd have 2 Pittsburgh receivers, but Jeremy Bernard's pretty fun. Do I just go ahead and take Gesicki here? Do I try to make Gesicki my last pick? I'll take Gesicki here. Guarantee I at least have that stack. Free myself for a luxury pick in the last round. Whether I want to go with the 6th running back, the 7th receiver, or even a 4th tight end. But I seriously doubt I'll go 4 tight ends now, since I landed Barner. I got the upside with Sadiq, and Gesicki I think is like a decent option. But I could take a 4th. Ferguson would have been fun. If I got Ferguson, I would have gone Ferguson, Bernard, push Gesicki around, and maybe gone 4 tight ends still with Gesicki. But now I don't really know what tight end would have to be there for me to want to go 4 tight ends on this build. If Freiermuth was there for some weird reason, I could still go Colby Parkinson, but I don't have a lot of conviction around that. And I already have Adams and Kyron, so like, what do I really need out of Parkinson? That's a team stack at least. Evan Ingram. Wide receiver wise, we'll just kind of see who's there. You guys know who I like, the year 3 breakouts. I could take a 7th receiver pretty easily. I'm just highlighting a few in my queue right now. I don't think I'm going to go Perine. Probably not. And probably not Justice Hill either. I don't know. I've got 8 players in my queue. So Rott just went, Freiermuth just went. Those were 2 that I was considering there. Ingram would have been queued up as well. Most of them are wide receivers. So we'll just see if one of these wide receivers is like bound to come back around. Tinsley, that's a fancy 0. I love fancy zeros, just not on my best ball teams. And definitely not on my best ball mania teams. Tinsley might be like the fanciest 0, but he was pretty exciting. He did have a touchdown. Mitch Tinsley, he had 2 touchdowns. I saw one of them. I think he had one game that was like decent, because in season I take record of the stats week to week, and I use them to build out my spike week model in season. And so I always week to week and I forget it all now, but like in the moment, I'm keeping tabs on which players are having spike weeks, what's going on. It's all related to the tiers here that I show, building this stuff out. And so I remember seeing him hit. I mean, he's going to be on this list of all wide receivers. He's down here somewhere. Tinsley. Yoshivas is far down here. Mitch Tinsley will pop. I don't know if we'll see him color-coded because it's so far down. Like Jade Walker's in here. There he is, Mitch Tinsley. It was a 9.9, so it didn't actually register in the spikes, but his best week was a 9.9. He exists. He just couldn't spike. Torrey Horton's one of the guys really far down that did spike. Jalen Naylor, but now he's like a household name somehow. All right, it's either Ted Hurst, Troy Franklin, Jalen Noel, Samaje Perine, Keon Coleman, Colby Parkinson, Justin Hill. I'm tempted to go Ted Hurst. He's been a faller, but it's a fun rookie swing, and he's playing the Rams in Week 17, so I'll go Ted Hurst there. I think it's a fun pick because he plays the Rams. I get my little bring back with the Buccaneers. I didn't end up getting any Colts to go with my Daniel Jones, so he's naked. But let's review this team. Any reason I don't use the sidekick or solver? Yeah, feeling all right. I've been a leg up sub since literally the day they launched leg up. I use their ranks. I don't have them loaded right now, but in past years, what I would do is I would meld them with my own personal ranks. That's what I did last season. And it was a lot to upkeep though, rankings. So I'm not doing the ranks right now. It's just too much to upkeep. Too much going on. But I'd like to. I think in August I will. And then I'm not a current ETR sub. And I don't access the solver. I think it could be fun. But the sidekick was kind of out of my price range for the number of drafts that I'm doing. I think if I was doing many more drafts, or if I have a big windfall where I take home like 10K one year, I'll probably come back with the sidekick. But last year I also drafted with the best ball overlay. So shout out to best ball overlay. I've been slow to get set up on best ball overlay this summer, but I'm in the process of getting it reset up on stream. I have no free time. Literally the first free minute of my entire day was 1 minute before I went live tonight. So, and now I'm going straight to bed. So hopefully this weekend I can get my best ball overlay set up. You can use code GARAGE to get 25% off. Right now there's a free week trial on best ball overlay. So check it out. That's what I'll be using very soon on stream. It's what I used a lot, pretty much all off season last year. So just getting that set up and refitted for that. I'm a little bit behind. I have so many things I need to catch up with people on, dates and collabs and content. My own podcast, I'm a few weeks behind. It's been hectic. Moving houses, moving cities is a lot to do. And then still working full time. Got 2 little kids. Not enough hours in the day. I try to burn the wicks at both ends of the candle, and I am sleep deprived, but it's worth it. We're drafting shippers out here. We're having fun. I'll catch up on rest on the weekend. Yeah, we'll see. Nez, what are you doing, bro? You got 2 injured QBs. How are you going to win week 1? This is a 3-5-7-3. I have Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, Daniel Jones. I'd give this a solid B+ QB room. I like this. Running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kyron Williams, David Montgomery. So I have, and Ramondre. I have 4 running backs through my first 75 picks. That's kind of like what we were doing last year with receiver. You want to have 4 receivers to the first 7 rounds. This year, you want to have 4 running backs to the first 7 rounds. Tajay Spears, RB5. I call this an A+ RB room. It can get a little bit better, but I think this is very strong. Wide receiver, Rashee Rice. Devontae Adams stacked with Stafford. Pittman, KC. I have a natural like Casey Daniel Jones mini there. That's kind of fun. Khalil Shakir, Jeremy Bernard. So I'm team stacking. I've got 2 Steelers, Ted Hurst to bring back for my Rams. I've got 3 rookie receivers. I guess I had 3 rookie receivers in the last draft too, so I'm really going rookie heavy tonight, pairing them with the veterans. Kenyon Sadiq, another rookie, Barner and Gesicki stacked up. I think the receiver room's like a solid B-. There's some holes in it, but there's a lot of upside. There's some fun pieces. I have some stacks going on. Tight end room, I'd give it like a B-. Maybe just like a C+. If Kenyon Sadiq hits, though, we're in the money. Pop over. Let's just check out what Nez's team ended up looking like. 2-5-8-3. Mahomes and Bo Nix are both injured, don't we know? So I guess he's not starting any QBs for the first few weeks, but maybe he can still advance and then get there in week 17. Genty, Cam Scattaboo, Bashal Tootin, just scooping up all the year 2 talent. C-Rod on a little fall, and then he's got the Jacksonville backfield tied up there. I like that approach. I know it's something he does sometimes. Scooping 2 running backs from the same backfield, especially on a good team. Liam Cohen offense. Let's go. Kamara late. I don't mind it anymore. Kamara's price has gotten pretty reasonable. Jefferson, T-Mac, Marv, Sutton stacked up. Jacoby, Steph Diggs, sick pick. Surratt, and a little bit of Tyquan Thornton thrown in late. Why not? To go with the Mahomie. Jawan Johnson, Brenton Strange, Eli Stowers. Yeah, this can work. Interesting, the depth at the wide receiver. But at the end of the day, if there's no other QB3 you like, I don't see a need to go for a 6 running back here. Maybe a 4 tight end team. Could have been a 4 tight end team. I wonder what Stowers is going to do in year 1. Goddard still being there, I think, gives me some concern, but I like the breakout potential for Stowers too, and he's only been getting cheaper. He goes super late in this one, or he goes pretty late. Actually, I was thinking the ADP and the place you took him were flipped. I think it's a fair price though, either way, for a breakout player. Fun drafts, guys. We did 2 best ball manias. We did a bunch of slow drafts. Somehow I don't have a single other slow draft ready to pick. And we talked over some contests. We talked golf. Hope you guys have some big plans, some fun plans for the 4th of July weekend. I might go live tomorrow night and draft some more teams. We'll just see what we can get into. But thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash that like if you haven't already. I'll catch y'all in another draft real soon. Peace out, guys.